Oh shit, I keep forgetting. And like that, we're back with another Unpacked presented to you by the To Be Fair Show. And we can't hear you, my brother. G is going through technical difficulties, but I think he want to say the G-ish podcast and add some horns and shit to it. I don't think we still can't hear you, but you ain't muted no more. Yeah.
It doesn't matter how you feel.
We in there? Oh,
We in there.
all right.
All right. So nonetheless, y'all see the panel. We got Johnny. He's gonna pull up on us in a second. But again, we got familiar faces back here, fresh from the motherland. Again, the topic is Unpacked. Are we in the middle of an identity crisis, a Black identity crisis? If so, has it been productive, divisive? Yes, it's a lot to unpack in this conversation. But before we get there, we have a fire panel. We'll start with G. G, talk to him.
What's good, everybody? It's G, host of the G Shit podcast, where we focus on family, friends, finances, freedom, and our future, and fuck everything else. Check it out wherever you get your pods. Just search GSHPOD. Hi.
All right. And y'all see him fresh from the motherland. Just got off the plane. Mayor of Charlotte. Black is gold. A Black. What's going on, brother? Welcome back.
What's up, everybody? Happy to be back. Yeah, man, just been having a little summer vacations, but back ready to catch up on the world, see what's going on.
I dig it. So I guess you have been on the trip for a little bit. How was the trip? How was the motherland?
Oh man, always good.
Where'd you go to?
Always different. So I went to Nigeria and Ghana. First time in Nigeria, so that was new. And then my second time in Ghana. And
is it as bad as Kamu makes it seem?
What part? Nah, when I say that doesn't mean countries are big, man. So it's like, and also you can experience everything a different way. So this is an experience like kind of like with money and with important people and delegations and diplomats. So it's a different experience, I think.
Oh, you was rubbing shoulders out there.
Yeah. This is definitely not my usual trip.
Oh, okay.
So you can be just like money anywhere. You can be kind of sheltered from
Got you.
Other things. So it's a whole new experience for you when you got some bread in another country. So Nigeria was cool though. Like my first day there, I saw DeVito at the club.
Really? Oh
yeah, like I was in the VIP section actually with one of the guys. He's a doctor, a foot doctor, and he like teaches people how to do surgery on feet, random shit, but makes mad bread from it, and like flies back and forth. So he got money in this club, And we there. He like, oh yeah, they go David. They call him, DeVito named David. They call him David. Axel. Like, they go David over there, David. And I'm like, who? He's like, you don't know David? I'm like, nah. It's like DeVito. I'm like, DeVito. I'm like, oh yeah, I know DeVito. And I look over and niggas like right there, the section beside us. Literally, it was my first day in Nigeria.
Do they spell DeVito like David?
Nah, well, yeah, except it got an O at the end, pretty much.
Oh shit! I've never paid attention to it. I've heard the name, but that's hilarious.
But that's his name, David.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Any other highlights from the trip? Will we get to
African nigga named David?
Yeah. All right. Rich African nigga. But now the food is hitting out there in Nigeria.
No bushmeat.
And Lagos. A lot of people out there. You say what? Oh, bushmeat.
Oh, no bushmeat. You know the guy says bushmeat everywhere.
You ain't indulging none of that bushmeat on the side of the road where they grilling
chicken and steak and fish and everything but that. I ain't getting no bushmeat. Nah,
I dig it.
I definitely probably gained 5 pounds in Nigeria alone because they kept us eating. Like, son, we just finished. Like, what's the next move? Like, well, now we're going to dinner. I'm like, well, shit, just level up.
Yeah, that's how I feel. It's like I'm sure y'all been on like a all inclusive resort.
Yeah,
and I feel like you feel like, to me, it felt like I was eating and drinking almost all day.
Yeah.
Like, you go to breakfast and you had some drinks, and then next thing you know, they serving lunch. You had some drinks. You look up. I gotta try and go back to the room, change, and damn, it's time for dinner. And then we had drinks, and we go to the club, and then we eat again, and then you pass out and do whatever you do.
Yeah, but eating way more of a social experience out there, and I noticed in Africa and in Asia. But we kind of rush it here now. We got things to do. We don't really do the whole family at the dinner table joint. Some families still do that, but it ain't like normalized. There, it's like when you eat, every time it's an experience. Like, they go do the full courses, the teas, the desserts. Like, eating gonna be a 2-hour process. Ain't no rushing.
Gotcha. All right, fellas. Again, audience, I know we love a good icebreaker. G, you sent this one in. I think it kind of pairs up with another meme that I was sent inside the Discord. So I'll push play on this one, and then I'll push play on the next one. Well, we could talk about this one first.
Guys, Black unemployment is the highest it's been since the pandemic. Let's talk about it. The Department of Labor just released that Black unemployment spiked to 7.2% in July. That's the highest it's been since October of 2021, where the unemployment rate was 7.6%. But here's where it got messy. Over his campaign, Donald Trump told voters that people coming over the border were taking Black jobs. But despite the increase in deportation efforts, unemployment for Black Americans has only gone up. And Donald Trump, ahead of the release, went on Truth Social to fire Erica McIntyre, head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, who he accuses of faking the numbers in order to help Kamala Harris. But it is worth noting that these numbers can bounce around a lot from month to month. For instance, Black unemployment rate was only at 6% in May before it rose sharply to 6.8% in June. It also hit a record low of 4.8% in April of 2023, when the job market and the economy were very strong. But Black people aren't just job numbers in a statistic. We're people trying to provide for ourselves and our families. So the question is, what can the government do to decrease these numbers? Okay, bye.
All right, G, I'll throw it to you first. Talk to us.
Nigga sassy.
Yeah, definitely sassy. I think it's interesting that with that was like a big talking point for folks, especially in a Black community that were pro deportation, was it's going to open up jobs for us, etc. That just doesn't seem to be the case. So I mean, like, I just think that's an interest. It's just another thing. Like, the Epstein thing is one thing. Now it's like, okay, Trump is all right. So what is this? August? We go in July. So we got these months in. It's like, all right, certain things where people were expecting to take place. Like I said, he had that one win, I think, with the negotiation, but we have yet to see the fallout from the tariffs and everything. So
I was just about to ask you if you was ready to walk back some of that.
We got to see. Time's gonna tell. Like the negotiation itself was a win in that he established like a superior position without creating a trade war. I think that's a win. But in terms of how it impacts the people that he's trying to, or his supporters, I think it's a potentially different conversation. But
when you say a superior position, meaning for you're talking about the European one, right?
Yeah, the Europe and the Japan, meaning that he increased tariffs on them. He increased the amount of tariffs that these countries have to pay without creating like this trade war that everybody was predicting.
But the American manufacturer and consumers losing it because they're like that's
the thing that time will tell. That's what I'm saying. Like that's the theory, but in a few months we're gonna see the fallout from in the reality of what happens from those tariffs. It's just one of those things that you really won't see till a couple quarters after the fact when it's in place, because we haven't seen the effects of those increases yet.
Okay. But yeah, I guess so. Where'd you want to kind of have a conversation around?
No, I just think that like I don't even think it's necessarily like an end. It's just I think from an icebreaker perspective, if we're looking at there was a very strong opinion in the black community for especially the black Trump supporters who were pro deportation and things of that nature.
Yeah,
like when Trump talked about black jobs, there were a lot of black people who were like, no, he's right. People are taking those black jobs and we do need to get rid of them so we can have those jobs again. And it just doesn't seem like the data is trending in that direction. So I'm just curious to see, like, how does that impact the seemingly growing support he was having with the black community? Does it maybe sway that back toward the other side? Like it's an interesting.
No, it's funny you say this. I think that this pairs perfectly with this next meme, in which this is the sentiment of it. It says, "I told y'all Trump was going to do more for Black Americans than any other president." This is the meme. This was sent into the chat today.
Y'all, Trump is not playing. This man said ain't gonna be no more bilingual, and let me explain what that means. So he recently announced that bilingual services will no longer be offered. So when we apply for jobs and it says must be bilingual, must be able to speak Spanish, ain't gonna be able to do that no more. This also applies to public services like aid. When you need aid, you go down to the county office and you get aid. Schools, hospitals, any type of public services. Everything's gonna be in English. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong. There is no other country on planet Earth that has offered English as an alternative. Mind you, people in America, we travel. We be traveling. I don't know any other country whose national language isn't English, whose national language isn't English, that offers English option. It doesn't exist.
What? She had me until she said that, because I mean people.
So why does Trump get a bad rap for doing exactly what every other country does? Even the countries that the immigrants come from, they don't do this in Mexico. They're not giving you no English option. A lot of them know how to speak English. Some of them know how to speak English because of tourism, and that's only in the tourism areas. Most of them don't. He ain't wrong, y'all. I can't even front. And also, it kind of opens things up for us regular people to get a job, because there are a lot of jobs where you only qualify if you speak Spanish, aka you can't work here unless you're Mexican, Latin American, some type of, you speak Spanish you're from a South American country. And that's not fair for Americans. I'm not mad at it, Trump. Now, again, he's not our Lord and Savior, and there are a lot of things he does that I do not agree with. This one, I agree with. And to be fair, when he said they're taking black jobs, he didn't lie. The thing is, they weren't just taking black jobs. They were taking up a lot of jobs, like the jobs that we could have if we weren't forced to be bilingual to get them, like those jobs. Or like our children who are just start working, can't work in no fast food place because everyone's Hispanic and they won't hire nobody else, like that. Or, construction jobs, they won't hire nobody else because they're not.
Nonetheless, as y'all see Johnny getting shit together in the background,
yeah, she lost me when she's like, you can't go to other countries and they doing English like everywhere in the world almost accommodates for no other language but English. Like you go to China, they'll got the sign in Chinese, English underneath it. You go to Italy, it'll be Italian, it'll be English underneath it. France, like so that's just not true. I mean, I feel like when black people get on these talking points with the immigrants, like sometimes they be sounding like white people because it's like if we live in a country that's supposed to be diverse, we should be able to offer bilingual services to the second most popular language at least in our country, and not just be one language. It kind of handicaps us as a country. And then the whole thing with the black jobs, and even that first meme with the dude, sassy dude I ain't speak on, it's like people, the black unemployment rate wasn't good under the last administration either, but people don't acknowledge the cultural shift of the job mentality, and that people don't be wanting quote unquote jobs, or the jobs, it's jobs available, but they're not good jobs. You know, they don't want to work at Family Dollar or, you know, Amazon, or, you know, it's plenty of places that are always hiring, but black people have developed, especially the younger generation, more of a sense of entrepreneurship, a sense of self pride, that where they ain't about to go work at Wendy's. It's like, but if people start filling those menial jobs, you know, that would change the rate. The thing is, people would rather bet on themselves than work like any old job now. So it's not like a job crisis in our community. If you look around, it's just that niggas don't want the jobs that's available. And I mean, shit, I don't blame them in some cases, but it's not like, oh man, I can't find no work. Like if you want to work out here in America, you can work. It might not be somewhere you want to work or getting paid how much you want to get paid, but it's like plenty of jobs hiring, you know. So it's not an issue of like it's no jobs. It's like it's not no good jobs. It's not no jobs people passionate about or they want. And then yeah, immigrants do come and take the shit that you don't want, but those are the jobs that they take in. They're not really taking jobs that people really, really want. Like you can't find so many black people be like, damn, that Mexican took that good job from me. Like, no,
that's not necessarily true, because if you limit immigration to like agricultural work, then sure. But there are a lot of immigrants that come over and take high level tech jobs. And I think now the question is, are we qualified for these jobs? That could be a whole other, but I think these are desirable jobs with desirable incomes and desirable industries. It's just having access to these opportunities for people who look like us on this panel tends to be, you know, much more restriction to access. And you know, it's just one of those things where it's like it's tough to break in if you don't know the right people. So
you got restriction of access, but you also have a lack of general interest in a lot of these fields too in our community. It's like you can tell people all day code, machine learning, real estate, all these different fields to make money in. But if there's just not a general interest in it, it don't matter who coming over and taking the spots. Like that interest has to be created, that demand has to be created in people, and they're told you can literally give niggas a book on how to make $1 million. They won't read it, like if it's not convenient for them and stuff. Like, and we don't be wanting to admit that. It's like, and we've already had a conversation, especially in tech, that when we're on the same level, nobody's still competing with us, cars Black Americans. So even in the tech space in America, you know, we still are leading. I mean,
but what I will say is that like I've seen this a lot recently, especially with this quarter change. They are definitely outsourcing tech jobs, even if the people are like as qualified or even like to an extent like lower qualified. They're outsourcing these jobs, especially to like India or like, you know what I mean? Like they're outsourcing these jobs just in general, but especially with the hit in this last quarter, which kind of goes along a little bit of what the guy was saying inside the last meme, where it was a projected surge in the quarter, but it ended up being like a fairly bad quarter for like what, May and June. which was a lot of job loss. This isn't like specific to Black America. This is just American economy in general, where like in tech and the economy in general, it's kind of it's just his own little slide. Like he kind of spoke to it a little bit where like it went 6 to 6.8, but it fluctuates heavy as well. But like I said, the only thing I would say would be to me, I've been seeing outsourcing via AI in India. Both of those things are hitting tech heavy right now for sure.
I mean, but also outsourcing is not new, but it is in tech. It's just about the demand. It's not like we have a surplus of talent and it's just getting passed over for Indians or Asian. It's just if you.
But I think it is.
Anybody's in tech. If you go do cybersecurity or anything, the first thing they tell you is how much of a demand it is in the U.S. and how less of people they have to fill it here. So we are
like cybersecurity is its own specific. Like it's a niche, in which I think that's probably.
I would say that as an example, but
like coding is different though. I'll speak to like the field that I'm in. Coding, like that's between AI and India. Them motherfuckers running it up.
But even with coding, how many you're in the field, but would you say like Black men, we have like a thirst, an interest that's instilled in us at an early age, like they're getting in their communities and their countries, where they're giving coding tablets and shit at 5, 6, 7 years old.
And, no, it's not. I wouldn't say that, but I guess that's why I'm speaking on it inside like more of a wholesale thing. Like I'm not saying that it's impacting specifically Black people, but as much as I'm saying it impacting
because of that, you're coming from a country, India. We're talking about India has millions of people and stuff, and so because of that, on ratio, you have more people who are qualified in this skill, so they'll do it for cheaper. I see the same thing just for graphic arts. Like I got like 2 graphic designers.
Oh yeah. In Mumbai, that's another one. Yeah,
they charge $5 for shit that like people do for $300. So it's the same with tech. If you got millions of people that have this skill, all right, I gotta go remote. I gotta look elsewhere. And then I have a company here. I need talent, and they have millions, and I can pay them a little less too because of the currency exchange. It's just economics. I don't see I feel like if we can compete with the numbers talent wise, like we're gonna win.
But our labor would still be at the short, because to me, like I don't think it's really a talent issue. Even if like they have higher numbers, they just have the cheaper labor, and that's what I'm saying. Like
because they got more numbers and they got more competition, so they'll do the work for cheaper. That's all I'm saying.
Gotcha. So I guess going to the second meme, do y'all think that this is do you think that them eliminating bilingual as a requirement for jobs is a Black let me make sure I quote the guy correctly. He said that I told y'all Trump was going to do more for Black Americans than any other president. Is this something that we should champion as a win for Black America?
I mean, are they gonna ignore him restoring the Confederate flags and statues and all that shit too? The monuments, like just because one group being attacked, it don't mean it's not gonna spill over to us eventually. So it's like I don't know. I just seen a lot of Black people just be kind of like hop on an anti-immigration, train real quick, but I'm like. He doing shit that's affecting us too. It's like a wide net that he's casting. So people just kind of jumping on like, yeah, he right about them, but not about that, and right about this. And just like you gotta pick, like he gotta be wrong or right. You can't pick and choose like what benefits you and then what don't sometimes. Because I feel like an attack on one group is an attack on everybody. It's go come towards us right now. If ISIS doing them like that, when they get enough of them out, what they gonna turn ICE into next?
Nah, fair enough. Welcome to the show, Johnny P. What's going on, brother?
What's going on? How y'all boys doing, man? Good to be here.
Hey, Johnny, use the other headphones. Use the regular headphones, and then talking to the mic, and then mute your mic, and it won't double echo. All right. But yeah. All right. Nonetheless, do we have any closing on that?
Man, that shit ain't doing nothing for black people, man.
Yeah. I thought it was an interesting take, and as I was having like the conversation with some of the guys, like to me, I was trying to understand. Like usually when they say they want tangibles for black people, I thought that they meant like specifically for black people, and that they were like mad that they will give like sweeping things that can help black and white women and Hispanics and others and brown and shit like that. But then to see this touted as like a win for FBI, I thought it was an interesting take.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Hey, y'all catch me up.
Like, what percentage of jobs even require bilingual? If we being honest, like, it's not a lot of jobs that make you have to be bilingual.
No, it's not.
Right, and
that's less than 10%. Honestly, like most jobs on the market do not require 2 languages. That's just the reality. Now,
probably more so in like
if you in Florida, Texas, you on a border town, okay, border state where you got a heavy Spanish speaking community, okay, I can see where like you might need to know some Spanish, but that's not the average American experience.
Yeah. Now, Johnny. So just to catch you up, Trump signed a bill that pretty much said that being bilingual can no longer be a job requirement. And some of the guys were saying that this is a win for Black America. But yeah, it sounds like we all kind of agree.
I think it's a win for America in general. Just Americans. Like if you English speaking, if that's your first born language, I think it's a win for you there. But like other than that, it's not specifically a win for us.
I guess. All right, fellas. Are we good on this one? If so, I guess this kind of lends us to like a small segue. We can slowly start segueing our way into the main topic. I thought that this was interesting. If we was going to, just kind of start our way into it. This is some commentary about Black identity.
And Travis Scott are the perfect case studies for the Black suburban boy experience and what happens when you feel the need to perform a culture, struggle, survival story that you never lived. Drake, especially as of late, performs the hood. He borrows the slang, energy, edge that comes from various hood cultures, whereas Travis disrespects the elders of that culture and shrugs at its lineage, all the while using that same culture as a backdrop to his productions.
But fellas, my bad. I jumped the gun just a little bit. I meant to get us first before we dive into the Black identity crisis. Into one more icebreaker that will segue our way into it. I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with kind of like the big thing. What's her name? Ari Lennox. She kind of had like a semi-viral moment this week with a bit of the colorism conversation. So we can walk into this a little bit, and maybe we can find our way into some identity politics, identity crisis. But I want to play this and get y'all opinion on it.
Colorism exists in television, film, Hollywood, absolutely. He never mentioned her complexion one time on that show as a joke. It was always her hair. It was always referring to her as being manly, can't find a man.
Okay, those are all stereotypes that are used with dark-skinned women. being masculine, not being able to keep a man, and being nappy headed. Those are anti-black tropes that are attributed to dark-skinned black women.
Have you ever once watched Martin and felt like what he said to Pam was inappropriate?
Not as far as being inappropriate, no, but I'm very aware of tropes against black women.
It makes sense if that's coming from somebody who's not a black man who we know loves black women.
But that's saying black people can't be colorist, and that's not true because we're the worst at it.
Of course,
white people
I'm not saying
all
that.
Black. White people is just you a nigga. Light skin, dark skin, you a nigga.
I'm talking very specific to Martin Lawrence here. But we can't do that to Martin Lawrence in the legendary show that is Martin. We cannot do that because we know that that's not what it was and that's not what it is.
How do you know that though?
Nobody has ever watched it and said, yo, I ain't gonna lie, he going crazy on Pam, and it's only because she brown skinned.
Shanae, is that her name? Mm-hmm. You don't think that person who created that character is capable of having a little bit of colorism in their jokes?
What the fuck is she talking about? Sinead? Like, what does Sinead have to do with colorism?
Oh, people just be reaching, man. Like looking to be offended. Like, you know, she mentioned black women tropes, but everybody on that show got roasted. Tommy, Cole, Martin, Gina, her big head. Like Pam calling Martin short and pipsqueak and all type of shit. So she ain't saying nothing about the emasculation tropes or nothing. Like I just hate the fake deepness that and like constantly looking to be offended. And we talked about black fatigue, and this is that black woman fatigue where it's just like now you reaching back in time to be offended or to find issues with shows. Like we know about colorism and the toxic colorism rooted in self-hate and racism, and then we know about the cultural colorism that we do in jest and in fun that may be lightly rooted in that, but it's not malicious. You know, you light-skinned dude, or you know, we not saying it because we hate you or nothing. It's just like a cultural thing, and that's what that show is about and why people resonated with it, because we know we do that in the black community. But you know, the difference with somebody is talking about dark skin or light skin out of hate, and when they just doing it out of joke, out of like that's how black people are. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I think we can tell the difference. And if we couldn't, this would have been an issue years ago. Nobody looked at that show as like, you know, oh, he going on Pam because she dark skinned. Like everybody thought Pam looked good too, and Pam held her own. Like she used to roast Martin. So I just like think sometimes chicks get too deep, and them Ari Lennox type chicks that's like always just looking to be a victim, and the little ugly duckling girls like, oh, you know, I felt that he was talking about me when he was like, shut the fuck up. Like they just always want to be a victim, man. It's not that deep.
Pam was thick though.
Yeah, but Ari Lennox just need new management. She need a new publicist. She just need a new something because whatever she's trying to do is not it to try and like rebuild that attention.
Yeah, she don't do the internet well at all.
Well, she just left all her team and stuff.
But she's still doing the same stupid shit. She needs some real guidance and leadership because, like, I don't know, you know, this whole thing came from Ari Lennox essentially, and if we're being honest, she's got a history of saying things that don't really, just saying things in a way that's like kind of disproportionately weighed. Like she'll overstate some things. I feel like, in terms of like how you know she's, you know, as an artist, she's probably had her troubles, right? But she needs some help, bro, because this is a reach. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know what else to say. Like, she needs some more shea butter, man. I don't know what's going on.
She presenting things through her insecurities and like not through reality and stuff. And like it's been shown over and over that she just an insecure girl. She's insecure about, you know, her looks, you know,
she ain't get that scissor. She ain't get that scissor BBL, and I mean, the world left behind. She gotta get that body did.
That ain't her brand, but she gotta love herself.
He crazy. He crazy.
Gotta get that body work.
Advocating for the
Got
class.
some work.
That's what she mad at. She mad. She don't. I mean, at the end of the day, like I feel like that's what she mad at. Like,
but I mean, I think it's like, I think she's mad that she going the natural route and not getting the love.
That's what I'm saying.
Because it's women, but it's women that go the natural route and they do get the love.
Like who?
Erica Badu, Lauren Hill.
No. Let's talk about
even free BBL.
Yeah, I was gonna say
in the
2020s. That's what it is more than anything.
Who in the 2020s is natural getting that love? Let's not talk about
BBL. Free BBL.
R&B.
2020. Anybody? 2020s. Who ain't
right now?
artificially inflated?
Snow Allegra.
Snow, but she
white, but
yeah,
whatever. Nah, niggas fuck with Snow though.
But it's the music fire. But you don't want
to.
She's
not mainstream though. If we,
I mean,
well, who's the big artist? That's what I'm saying. Like if we,
that's what all the big artists got.
No, but who are the
Doechii? Would you say she's natural?
Nah, Doechii got a BBL.
Oh, she did.
I was hurt. You
know, TDE gonna make sure them bitches get the BBL. What we talking about, man?
Good BBL though. That look
she got like a natural BBL.
Nah, I thought Doechii was real. She open about her shit being fake too, but she got me.
Okay, damn. Okay, well, I had to do some research, G.
You can't get over that hump till you get that work. It's just an unfortunate thing.
Nah, Glow really she blew with them bad teeth.
Glow didn't got some work.
No, she did, but she blew up with them bad teeth.
Yeah.
She did.
She had them bad teeth.
The pressure to be beautiful, man, in that industry.
I'm trying to think, bro. It got to be some natural joints that them blew up.
Well, it's not a lot of like
her.
They come into the game.
Oh yeah, her
Ella May.
Oh yeah, Coco Jones is another one.
Coco Jones.
Yep. That's
Coco Jones might be one.
And they all getting wedding rings.
This is a fact. That might mean.
Tatum.
Oh, well, she got the baby, so
yeah.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, she got an 18-year paycheck.
What's the joint?
Oh, but yeah, I guess
little things or simple things. That's a fine song. I like Ella May. She fine.
Yeah, and it's got to be an age gap with her and
Tatum.
Her and Tatum too, because she was outside like 2011,
she might
12.
Be older than him, ain't she?
Oh no, she is. That's what I'm saying. I think she caught her nice little 22, 23-year-old. She got to be plus 30.
She Brittany rented the boy.
Yeah.
Hey, that's Supermax contract.
She Supermaxed him. Yeah.
Oh, well, PJ ain't had no Supermax.
Yeah, Ella made 30 years old.
Oh, that's not bad. Tatum, what, like 26?
26, 27.
Damn, Tatum that old?
How old is
the league for a minute?
He about to be 28.
Oh shit! All right, I'm quiet.
You can't even hate on that.
Yeah, I'm quiet. Yeah,
I'm quiet on that.
Yeah,
nah, that's solid then. All right. Nonetheless, using that to kind of branch us over into a bit of a topic to kind of run down the line. So I'll ask it this broadly first, and then we can kind of like slowly walk up. Is there an underpinning of a lot of the current identity crisis that if we do believe that there is a Black identity crisis, is there some shades of colorism within it?
Ooh, no. I mean, maybe shades, but I think it's more.
Is there some shades of colorism? I guess if I was to expand some, like there is, especially as we start going into a lot of the anti-different Black culture things. It does seem interesting to me that there is like a lot of degradation of like the dark-skinned Black cultures. But there is like an interesting elevation, like whether you want to go like the Israelites or the Hoteps with the Egyptians or the Moorish gods, or if you want to be an Indian.
You saying all them niggas dark skin, Q?
No, I'm saying all those niggas is light skinned. Like the
Israelites,
the people that they want to be, or the people that they're claiming to be, like the Moroccans, the Moors. These are lighter skinned people. The Egyptians, the Hoteps, these are lighter skinned groupings. The Israelites.
Wait, so you telling me in Charlotte, if you see a group of Israelites, they look like
I
me?
think that you're missing the point of what I'm saying. No,
He's saying the identity,
the
of
identity that they're
claiming.
going back to.
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking colorism. That's why I got confused.
Well, I am talking colorism, but what I'm saying is that they're
Big
branching a piece of the identity off of, like same reason. Like if you look at the idea of like African booty scratcher, or like the typical negative tropes of being African, also typically deal with being really dark skinned. Do you get what I'm saying? But there's like a heavy appreciation for Egyptian culture, for example.
Can I
go ahead, Johnny?
Yeah, but
it could be a reach. I'm just asking.
I ain't gonna say it's a reach, but I think most of like the identity crisis, especially in America, we talking Black American culture, is more based in the separation of like the urban and the suburban, or socioeconomic. I think it's way more socioeconomic where.
Well, I think that is definitely a component. I'm just before we get to that component, just starting off with like the version of colorism.
I don't see, especially from my family, because like as a darker skinned person, well, no, like I got light skinned aunties and stuff, and like the one time I've ever got in trouble about joking about somebody's skin was when
you call somebody light skin.
I call my auntie white skin.
White skin,
but I will also say this:
super light skin.
I learned this weekend. Like Johnny don't believe in colorism for Black men either, but that's a different.
Black women, I do though, because it's different. It's a different struggle, but it's a different struggle. But yeah, like so the only time I've gotten in trouble, like I mean, there's been Black dark skin jokes. I grew up, of course, but like I remember the one that really hit home was me picking at lighter skinned people about like their skin and like them being offended. So I don't know if colorism. I think that sometimes I think that's superficial. I think it's more of an ego thing, and it goes both ways. Light skinned dudes have struggles. Dark skinned dudes have struggles. It's stereotypes that are pros and cons on both sides. So
hey, Black, talk to us.
I got distracted, Johnny, man. I saw your twin in Nigeria, man. A dead ass though. He like a tall version of you.
Hey, man, that's fine. That's fine.
Hey, Black. I ain't gonna lie. This Johnny, he was running the boards with us on Friday. We had Anthony Morrow.
Morrow.
Yeah. Anthony Morrow. He pulled up on us
every dark skinned nigga
on Friday, and he said he called him Casa Knot first. Then he called him nigga Desi Banks. Then he called him No Malice.
Pusha T and No Malice. He called me the whole clips.
That nigga Black himself, ain't he?
He ain't that. He like a Black.
He ain't this Black.
Yeah, he ain't that.
No,
it is different.
He ain't got this premium Black on him.
Oh damn! I'm the token light skinned nigga. All y'all niggas is Black.
What was the question again? My bad.
Are there any underpinnings of colorism within the Black identity crisis?
I mean, I think it's definitely there. It's definitely there. I don't think it's as prevalent as it used to be, as far as getting your place in society. The whole being attached to classism, and I think it's definitely still in our families and our communities. Like I say, I know. We joke on it, or we say light skin and high yellow or dark skin or different things. But it's not ever meant like maliciously, and it's never like over the top, like somebody just constantly commenting on somebody's skin tone or saying something that's just like, all right, that's a little extra. But I don't think it's as bad as it used to be. I feel like we've joked about it so much as a community, especially on the internet in the past few years, that it's taking something away from it. You either love yourself or you don't. So
hey, but that's the thing. Hey, Black, like dark skin and light skin, like they both got like the jokes.
Yeah,
like, it's a bunch of light skinned jokes you can run. It's a bunch of dark skinned jokes you can run. I think it's
right,
pretty even.
But you can also say that there is a history of like light skin being pushed. Well, like if you go like bourgeoisie within like even like education and or power structure within America, and like the allowance of colorism historically and what that has ended up looking like down the line when we look at even generational money in America with Black people. Like there is more than like the joke part that has had impact, I would imagine. G, what's your thoughts?
No, man, I think there's definitely a colorism element. But I think honestly, like I don't know. Somebody said something earlier that, or maybe that was the meme that was like white people just see all Black the same. Like I do think that from a white perspective, I just feel like when it comes to being here, I feel like I don't know. It's an interesting thing now as I'm thinking about it, because a lot of these dark immigrants will come here and the whites will accept them in ways where they won't necessarily accept a dark skinned American, in my opinion. And so then it makes me think like, okay, how can you be so comfortable with, say, a very dark Caribbean or African, but not comfortable with like a dark American, right? So I feel like the colorism is more specific to like,
and like, right now, like I guess
America,
like
and not like.
Go ahead.
I think it's more specific to our culture than outside of Ada.
And right now, I'm speaking more or less about within the Black American experience.
Yeah, in a Black American experience. I think so.
I was gonna say, Unc asked me and A Black a question, but he was saying about like dark skin. Like I think like
I was trying to answer it, but yeah, I told my girl about darker than me. I always like light skinned girls.
What about you, Johnny?
I'm single, but I love dark skinned women too. I'm saying like, but like y'all trying to recent bias me, but y'all trying to, but like I actually like really love, like I think dark skinned women are very beautiful. Of course, like those are some of the most beautiful women out there, like the South Sudanese. And like,
when was the last dark skinned chick you dated?
Like,
how many years you would say probably?
Right before COVID.
Right before COVID.
Like right before COVID.
Okay.
Dark skin. I mean, like the dark, like a dark skin joint, but like, yeah.
Okay. G, you can finish your thought.
No, look, I do think colorism definitely plays into the identity politics, but I don't know if it's in a way where like niggas think they're better than because they're of a certain shade. I just think that there are like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like there are tropes that you can play into. So like when Johnny said light skin have jokes, like versus dark skin, I feel like light skin jokes are more like they try to play you for being soft. They try to play you for being like soft, basically.
But that
shit be hitting though. I know like a lot of light skinned niggas that be like having issues with that shit. Just like it's dark skinned niggas that have issues with like being.
So you know, light skinned niggas who actually get mad for being called like light skinned is like, like help me understand
like
what you're
soft,
saying. You know,
calling a nigga soft because he light skinned. There's a lot of niggas that got issues with that.
But don't dark skinned niggas get mad if they get called soft?
You say what?
Pause.
You say what?
Pause. Don't dark skinned niggas. What man just.
But I'm saying, but dark skinned niggas, like it's the opposite trope. Like we get looked at as like monsters and like aggressive, like it's the opposite. But light skinned niggas hate being called soft. Just because you say a nigga just soft, just because
what man likes being called soft? Pause.
I don't think nobody
do, but I think he's saying
nobody likes being called like a monster or being like all the tropes that come with being dark skinned. Nobody likes that shit either.
All right, so I'm saying, so it ain't a light skin thing. Like nobody wants to be called soft, nigga. Like who the fuck are you? Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like if you call, look, I'm just a nigga from Durham. I'm telling you that right now. I'm more of a Durham nigga than a light skin nigga. That's just really me. But at the end of the day, like whether you call me, I don't want you to call me anything out of my character. I don't want you to call me angry. You already know that. And I definitely don't want.
Hey, that was light skin on light skin violence.
I take offense to that. Like, don't call me fucking angry.
It was two light skin niggas, bro.
So I don't think that's a dark skin, light skin thing. But maybe that's just my own. Maybe that's just my own head.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I also say that I personally have never been called either one of them, just because I'm kind of like right there in the middle. But it do seem like that, like the drag on dark skin typically seems to be a little bit more heavier when it comes down to negative connotations that are deemed bad across the board. Like dark skin, especially if you have like hair that couples with that, that shit drags a little bit harder than like sometimes somebody calls you soft as a light skinned dude. But then the tropes is like you get bitches. Or you get there's a bunch of positive tropes that comes with being light skinned, and then being dark skinned. Most of them, it's yeah.
There's a lot of women that like dark skinned niggas too, though. Like I don't know, like
y'all had y'all run in the 90s. Y'all did.
Shit, man, we still having the run, bro.
Y'all had a run in the 90s. Y'all
rain will never stop, bro.
Wesley Snipes era.
Yeah.
The rain will ever stop.
Y'all had y'all running in the 90s, man. Y'all did.
Dark
Y'all
skin
did.
era been strong for a minute. Light skin ain't been in since like the 80s. Chico
Since
what's
his name? The Barge, yeah.
LL Cool J niggas. Like,
are you gonna call me in the morning?
Yeah.
Steve, welcome to the show. What's going on, brother?
Yo, what's up? Y'all just missing one person. Y'all had a whole gang back together, man.
Oh no, you know that one. He
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, man. If I see A Black walking down the street at night, I might have to cross over to the other side, man. You never do a little stereotype.
Hey, turn your camera on, Steve.
I'm fucking with you.
Steve light skin.
Steve, you passed the paper bag test?
Yeah, no, man, most definitely. I turned my camera on one time after the show.
Yeah.
So you light skin, you like red bone, high yellow.
Nah. I'm right there with Q.
Oh, that's
right. I ain't really light skin, but it's a bright light right here.
That's
brown skin.
Yeah.
Hey man,
light hit right. Me and G almost look the same. All right.
Yeah, you turn the temperature up on that camera a little bit. You be there, Q. That light right there.
Q trying to be a part of the club, man. What y'all dark skin niggas think about that, man?
Hey,
y'all can have them. Y'all can have them.
Nah, I definitely.
Hey, but I do appreciate Q for turning the light up on me though. As a dark skin nigga, I appreciate that.
Look at it.
Had to put a nigga in the focus.
I appreciate that. That light help.
I definitely don't think like colorism is an issue. Is like obviously like in the 90s, because like people more aware of it now. Like some stuff we just kind of took as like normal back then. We would say stuff about even like the texture of people's hair. Like that little shit that people wear now with the sponge and you twisting your hair up like that. Motherfuckers would have been saying your shit was like nappy back then. Like, so now I think people are a little bit more aware of like what's insensitive and what's kind of like rooted in stereotypes. And it's kind of like you don't see people really make those type of statements about dark skins like publicly like that. And if they do, it's typically backlash, like in the public sphere or whatever the case may be. So I think it's changed because it's just more knowledge about those tropes than there was back in the day. Because the old people in my family, they colorist as hell. Like it's the young people not, but like the old people.
Oh no, like my I think 30, 40 and older.
The old people is definitely like
they still grab a lot of that.
Like the old people is definitely on some like don't bring no dark skinned girl type shit. Like no bullshit.
Oh, what?
My granny.
I ain't never heard that in my family. I
got a family that's like all shades, so like we love everybody.
I would say that
I only heard don't bring no white girls. I ain't never heard nobody say don't bring no dark girls.
White girls are definitely one.
I've heard that.
I think I told y'all the story before, but my brother is half Nigerian. And all my granny was worried about at the hospital when my brother was about to be born was he's gonna come out dark skinned, bro. Like she literally in the spotlight, man. I hope this baby ain't dark type, like saying this shit out loud.
You know, Kamu ain't gonna like that.
And then
Kamu, he Nigerian.
And then my brother, he was like delayed in his like speaking, like so he didn't like really talk. So my granny was like, that's because my granny was like, that's because that nigga know African. He don't know no English. Like she was just saying, wow.
Like, granny was saying, but like speaking of grannies, like I know somebody close to me where like they don't know their grandma based off of colorism, where like her older brothers.
Oh, that's crazy.
The grandma treated the light skinned one better than the dark skinned one, and the mama felt the way, and all the way to the point that she never even brought that other person around them, being that it was based and rooted in colorism. But I will also say like, yeah, within like the vicinity of people that I know, I've definitely seen like the like when I was younger, you know, like you could hear the older folk talking, and when you have some people bring the dark skin girl, like you would hear certain things, especially when you have a group of people that might be a little bit more fair skinned per se. Yeah, I think that there is definitely different little underpinnings when it comes down to it. That I don't know if it's like innate, but there is a bit of like dark skin bias. I mean, honestly, like my wife is dark, in which like there's some little pieces that I pick up and notice and be like, like that's interesting.
Like even in public, with, like, you saying in public?
No. Like with just enough people close around in your vicinity. Like shit, I like my daughter, she came out light, but I remember like there was like an interesting like things that I picked up on, even like with the baby and the birth and different things like that. And I was like, like these are like interesting things that might not be intentional, but like you can see and hear the bias come out even when like they're talking.
And I think we see these things like normally in our life. It's just like we didn't think about it back then. Like the way we look at certain fraternities, the way we look at certain organizations and the people who join them. Like now only do we speak about, damn, that was kind of weird that all the light-skinned girls was AKAs, and now it's becoming normal where like anybody could be an AKA now. That's
well, not the dark skins, they go grad chapter.
You know, it's not that.
Hey, I know a lot of dark skin AKAs. Like, y'all gotta stop
but that's true.
That's true. That's a thing.
My wife,
she's pretty dark skin. She can go undergrad.
Dark skin AKAs.
But you like she had to be like that. To a PWI. She must went to a PWI.
She probably did. Yeah.
But you know, that's like them.
We talking about like
y'all gonna talk about my school now. I'm trying to
not PWI. Like if you went to HBCU, I know plenty of dark
like the big black ones. They had to go grad.
I went PWI.
No, the big black ones got to be Zetas.
SG Row.
Now usually it's one of those two, to be honest.
Yeah, the big ones. The big ones go Zeta.
You don't see light skinned Q dogs. You normally don't see like Q dogs have it's a thing, right. and it's a history to why
they usually Kappas.
It's all these true. Like it's all these type of tropes that they come from historical stuff, because a lot of those fraternities, the reason why they created another fraternity is because the original fraternity, Alpha Kappa Alpha, was classes and colorists, so they had to create another one for the people who didn't fit into that one. So it's just like that's why I feel like older generations is more like on that tip than like new age kids and stuff like that. But I think colorism is like not as bad as it was back in the day. That's my take on it.
Yeah. Kofi, is there an underpinning of colorism within some of, not saying that it is all of, but some of the black identity conversation?
Yeah, we're all subject to that due to the environment that we're in. You know what I'm saying? During slavery, post-slavery, after slavery, these systems are still in place. As you guys mentioned, no one ever came to black people and said, you know what? It doesn't matter if you're very dark to very light, you're all black and you should be happy and be proud of it. So we're on ourselves. We had to deal with that internally, and it's how it showed itself. So you said something that too many people. A lot of people from the Caribbean, like where I'm from, they like to use this when they describe um people that are more light skinned. And my father used this all the time. So if there was two people there and you say, hey, you know what, give this person $20 that I owe this person $20. Yeah, which one? He'll say, oh, not that one, the fair skinned one. So me thinking like, wait, so the fair skinned one is lighter. So if the other person is dark skinned, that means they're also unfair. So these subliminal things, even within our language, right, where we're partaking in colorism due to the language that we're speaking and due to the customs that we have adopted. That's a European mindset of saying, well, one black person based on their complexion is fair and the other one by default is unfair. You know what I'm saying? So we're still partaking in that. And I put the yeah, I know Uncle will probably know that. I put the link about school days, about the whole thing about, since you guys talking about fraternities and things like that. And that is true, Steve. I never really realized that because my wife's cousin is an AKA and she's light skinned. So, and I kind of realized that when all her friends get together, they're all light skinned. But anyway, but you see that video with the good and bad hair, dance montage, and they're calling themselves Jigaboo, Pickaninny, light skinned heifer, this, that. It's something that you guys are saying is like happened a long time ago. The 80s wasn't really a long time ago. And some of that stuff carry over. Now, depending on what generation you're talking about, then okay. But this is something that is recent. It's not something in the distance past. And the other thing, G said something about when white people see a person from the Caribbean or Africa and a dark-skinned person, they know, like, that makes no sense. You gotta show me
what's what I said. That's not what I said, Kofi. That's not what I said.
What do you say? What do you say?
I said they seem to be more accepting of dark-skinned African and Caribbeans more so than dark-skinned Americans. That's what I said. I didn't say they know.
So what part of their skin complexion is different than a dark-skinned person that's American? That's what I'm not getting.
I'm not saying that they have different complexions. That was my whole point in bringing it up. It was that, like, I don't know if it's necessarily skin complexion because in my experience, if I look at all my homies who fuck with the snow bunnies, now I know there's niggas on here that fuck with snow bunnies. I'm not gonna say nothing, but the nigga look at my anecdote, most of the niggas that really delve into the snow bunnies are Africans and Caribbeans, not Black Americans. That's my typical experience.
Hey man, I want to respond.
South Carolina is the opposite.
Hold on.
Or South Carolinians, right?
My experience,
Africans, Caribbeans, or South Carolinians. One of the three.
Hey, I'll take that. Like, I'll take that. I did what I did, and it's whatever. But like, it's whatever. I do want to respond to Kofi though, because he was talking about Pickaninny and like it was a bunch. He said Jigaboo. He said a bunch of.
Well, he was quoting School Days,
and I that's cool, and I get it, but like. We act like light skinned niggas wasn't called house niggas and like untrustworthy. And there's a lot of light skinned tropes when it comes to like being black, being FBA, where like the light skinned niggas are almost untrustworthy because even if you go back to slave days, those was the house niggas. Those was the ones that was snitching and telling on motherfuckers, and you really couldn't trust them. So like the light skin, like.
So you saying like through the 70s, 80s, and 90s, they ain't really trust light skinned niggas?
I think part of that goes. I think part of the softness and like if you're talking about what's rooted in colorism, I think a lot of like the hatred, or not even hatred, but there's like a lot of shit that goes back like, on both sides.
Most
about
of the black
skinned niggas and about
like the loudest black is strong. Like Huey, he's light skinned.
Malcolm X was red. Malcolm right? They call nigga red, right?
Farrakhan is light skinned at best. Like MLK is brown skinned.
I think all the niggas brown skin. Ain't none of them high.
Malcolm X name
Malcolm
was
X
red,
literally
nigga.
called red.
Oh yeah.
Like
Detroit,
Farrakhan is light skinned. Huey P
is red. These niggas, I mean, they like
they're lighter than This isn't even. Like
I think that's a different type of light skin though than high yellow. And like,
all right, what are we doing?
Yeah, Malcolm X.
Johnny's super colorist. Your black ass is a colorist. You try to speak from your black totem pole looking
That nigga
down
said,
on
they ain't like elite. They ain't elite. Like,
Johnny looked down on anything lighter than him. And I'm
And that's
realizing
a
that.
lot.
So,
That's a
so he
lot.
basically just looked down on any and everything that ain't as dark
Johnny
as him.
delineated. Just then, y'all seen him delineate the light skins?
Oh yeah.
Real quick. Hey, old man, talk to us, brother.
Wait, hold on. I want to bring my point home real quick with what G was saying. So to bring home, so one of the reasons why I say that's not true, obviously, me being here in New York, there's a lot of diversity here. If you, I know I'm a little bit older than you guys, but Unc might know if he's listening. You remember Diallo? Diallo was a black immigrant. It was Johnny's complexion, and he got beat to death and sodomized. So how is that anything different than how Black Americans are unfairly treated? So to your point, G, you did preface saying that, hey, look, from a white perspective, they all see us as the same. But then, you gave that example. So I just wanted to say that.
But you just brought up one random I
brought that's not random.
But no,
that's not random. I brought that up because that's something that you would know.
Who is this nigga that you talking about? What year did it happen?
It was in New York. It was in the 90s.
Exactly, random in the 90s. So if you want to like debate my point with one incident in a big ass city like New York where it only happened one time in the 90s,
that's what you're saying. I didn't say it happened one time. I'm giving you that as an example of it happening. So if it happened once, because we see it, you sound like when white people say, "Well, I didn't know racism exists."
Kofi, I can give you examples of plenty African and Caribbeans being accepted by greater white culture.
Okay, and I understand, and that's your experience. I'm not trying to demean your experience. My experience is the opposite. My experience is the opposite. So all I'm trying to say that there's a spectrum and a plethora of different types of experiences. Yours is not right. Just because yours is right doesn't mean mine is wrong, vice versa. That's all that I'm saying.
I mean, I do think G is pointing at something that's like we can kind of observe it, whether it's in employment, education, Fortune 500 companies, where there is a difference in between the way in which continental Africans is perceived and treated and the way in which foundational Black Americans or ADOS is treated. And I don't
in what manner?
I mean, it's just the
are you talking about like first generation or second generation?
I would say the children of Nigerians and the space that they occupy in the university. And let me finish the point because I think people, finna jump off the deep end before I even circle around. Because I think the differential treatment is useful in what the goal of the power structure is, right? They create this environment in which it's perceived to be this limited amount of access to education and so forth, so on, and they kind of get us pitted against each other when the reality is there is really more than enough resources for Black people and everybody to go to college and whatnot. But there is this difference.
Steve, to what you're saying, let me ask you this. Do you think that probably isn't just a matter of immigration selection bias for Nigerians, where just to make it over here as a Nigerian, you probably it's the reason why they have like these higher test scores, these higher XYZs. Generally speaking, these are their elites coming over here to our universities.
And I agree with that,
and what they're doing. I don't know if it's as much of a bias as much as like it's just a selection bias that has already happened through immigration.
And so I agree with that, but I think what ends up happening is that, and I think this is what people really point at as is then Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, the average of us is then compared and contrasted against the best of continental Africans. And
Agreed.
And I think that's where the tension lies. I'm not making a distinction. I'm not making an argument about whether this bad or good, but I'm just making an observation on where I think the tension is around this topic and conversation. Because
I agree with that.
The whole of us is then getting compared to the 10% of them. But when you really compare the 10%,
5%, really,
But can I hop in there and make just an observation though, because we was breaking it up, the colorism, and then we talking about dark skinned immigrants and the tint. But I think as a suburban PWI type of guy, that's also dark skinned. And I think like a lot of it's not even colorism, but it's like access to like education, and it's like the suburban thing. I think a lot of that makes a lot more difference in this versus just the color of our skin. Because I know light skinned niggas that ain't seen nothing, that they go in and get treated just like a dark skinned nigga would. And I know dark skinned niggas that know, how to talk a little bit, have a little bit of, education, and get treated like anybody else. So I think it's outside of the colorism or like even the immigration. I think it's just assimilation. How easily.
So Johnny, when you was at South Carolina State, did they treat you like a dark skinned Nigerian?
No. Respect. Don't say South Carolina State.
South Carolina.
Oh, my bad. University of South Carolina.
I have family that went to state, though. I have family that, hey, I've been, state, like, bloodline, too, though. I fuck with state and Claflin, all of that. Shout out to Orangeburg, South Carolina.
What do you say?
I went to HBCU in the state.
What was it? Are you saying they're treating you like a good black because you was from the suburbs?
I ain't gonna say just because I was from the suburbs, because like it has like that, and I wouldn't necessarily say I got treated like a good black. Like I mean, there's times where I wondered, I was like, oh shit, it's that, but it's still the access, and I think like versus like when you put yourself in those spaces, it's not about the color of my skin that I was getting treated like that. It's I think you put yourself, you base like once you get in the door, it's about your merits. Like once you in these certain spaces, once you get accepted, they're not judging you whether you light skin or dark skin. They judging you like how smart you are, how much you know, and all of that. Once you get in the door, so I've never felt like me being dark skin ever like held me back from anything at all. Like honestly,
I just want to make this one last point when we're talking about these differentiations, and what Steve said and what Q brought up is true. So when immigrants come here, they're not getting. You cannot pit an immigrant that came here, like the example you gave, a Nigerian, and pit them against the average Black American. That's unfair, right? You can't do that, right? But I do want to say what the common denominator is, and I heard of this study since the 90s all the way to now. If you have people from HR 2020 did a interview, did a study on this. When employers are hiring people, they have the black names and the white names, right? So you could have someone that has Jamal, Tyrone, Johnson, or Hill, or Jones, right? They're going to be in the same bucket with Omawale Maduke. It's not like, oh, okay, so let me put the African name over the Black American name. No, that's not done. You're all in one bucket. So when to make these differentiations is really doesn't make any sense, because there's no such thing. No one could show me a bucket, literally, where when it comes to hiring and when it comes to merit and things like that, well, okay, we're gonna put we're gonna put the Africans up top here. I'm gonna hire this African over this African American. That's not a thing.
Got you.
That's not colorist either, though. That's
but
no, yeah, I know it is. I'm just saying to G's point.
Hop in before we move the conversation forward. Oh man, talk to us, brother.
What's up, fellas? Looks like I made it. So what I want to say on this, I don't believe there's a crisis. If there's I believe there's a reckoning. So
got you. Well, oh man, you about to go to like the pure topic. We ain't even got there yet.
Hey man,
fuck out of bullshit.
He said fuck the lead ups. Now we're talking about colorism right now. So
never let me get my words out. I swear.
Okay, my bad. All right, so I just didn't want you to push us all the way to the topic yet, because we haven't gotten there. So if you was gonna keep it on colorism at the moment, then go ahead.
So let me retract my mind. So it's a reckoning. So in Black America, Black Americans, traditional Black Americans, foundational, whatever, we already are settled in our blackness, right? To me, blackness is a mindset. We ain't caught up on the color, shades, pigmentations, all that stuff. We got done with that when we said we black and we proud. The crisis or the confusion comes from the people who are not, the people who immigrate here. They think when we say black, we know that we all shades of brown. But they think when we say black, they thinking of that. They have, like in South Africa, they have colored and they have this, and then you have the South Americans. You have the different people where they want to be lighter because they want to be mejor la raza, mejor la raza. We're not about that. Blackness is a mindset in America, so there is no crisis within the Black American community. The reckoning, the confusion and the crisis is the reckoning to get these immigrants on the same page as us. But if they don't want to be on the same page as us, it's gonna be decided who is actually black in America. And if they don't want to be part of our black mindset, then they won't be.
This has nothing to do with colorism. That has everything to do with just attacking other people disingenuously. It has nothing to do with colorism.
I know y'all gonna get to it. Y'all gonna get to it. Listen, I'll say this. Like we tend to do the after show after the podcast.
Nah, you just straight up lied.
I got you. Y'all gonna we gonna let y'all get to
how
it.
did I lie on my opinion?
But fellas. Like I said, I just seen this happen. What was it last week where they was on the after show and I seen one of them. They was like, "Hey, I'm about to be out," and you know I was like, "Shit, I'm about to be out too." I clicked off and. Like I'm walking upstairs and I said, let me tune in and see if these niggas still in here chopping shit up. I tuned back in maybe like 10 minutes later. These two niggas are still going at it. I'm like,
yeah, but Q, no. Oh man, at the end of the day, everything was good though, right?
Bro, they was on there for like an hour.
See, all three of us was on there and everything was cool. We had a good conversation.
That's the beautiful thing though. It be all love.
All right, but oh man, I do want to ask you a follow-up to what you just said. So, like, if I was to extrapolate something from there that dealt with colorism, are you saying that colorism is like it exists primarily in black immigrants and that's not really a black American thing? Is that what you're pretty much saying?
So I'm going by the prompt. You say identity crisis. So I'm assuming you're talking about black people, right?
Yeah, see, that's where I was trying to like redirect you just a second ago. We hadn't gotten to the actual like title point. We were leading up to it with questions and where we was at colorism at the moment. And if there was any version of underpinning of colorism within what one might state as the identity crisis, which would be like, yes, you do it. You don't.
I'll speak on it this way. I grew up in a very diverse community, all from elementary all the way up through college. So we didn't really trip on that too much, especially because in my family, shoot, everybody comes in every shade. So it's not even, it's no point to even, we joke on each other, but that's just out of love and just, you know, that's the culture that we have here in America. But as far as colorism, no, if you're down, you're down. We with you. I mean, I grew up with people who were fair skinned and I consider them more black than the darkest person. So that's just the lifestyle I grew up in.
I dig it. So I guess moving it forward, I go. We can go Johnny. Then
I had no colorism in my family. And I had all types of shades. We didn't talk to each other like that. You just black. That's it.
Hey,
gotcha.
I'm the blackest motherfucker that can be considered white in most places. I'll be like,
all right. Speaking of that, Johnny. So as we start talking about the identity crisis, I know you wanted to talk about it a little bit earlier. So I'll throw to you first, then we'll go to A Black G, and then we'll go to our call-ins. You were speaking on how you feel that the real divide when it comes down to the black identity crisis ends up being the suburban versus, I guess, hood complex that you see a lot inside the conversations of Black America. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I think that this meme probably feeds into it a little bit, and then we can just kind of have like some open dialogue.
Experience and what happens when you feel the need to perform a culture, struggle, survival story that you never lived. Drake, especially as of late, performs the hood. He borrows the slang, energy, edge that comes from various hood cultures, whereas Travis disrespects the elders of that culture and shrugs at its lineage, all the while using that same culture as a backdrop to his productions. Two different responses to the same internal question of how do I fit into a culture that the world assigns me by default, but I have no real claim to. That's why the Black boy suburbia experience must be one of the most surreal, perplexing journeys in America. What I saw growing up was performance, right? You must be the athlete, the comedic relief, too cool to care. You build your persona or personality from.
Nonetheless, I think that gives us a launching pad. Johnny, you agree, disagree? What's your thoughts?
Oh yeah, nah, I agree. And definitely, like, as the suburban black, PWI black, whatever y'all, white girl black, whatever y'all want to put on me. I done got a lot of labels, but
you say
like
that with a smile on your face, Johnny. You take pride in that.
Just wait.
You put that last label on yourself.
Wait.
I ain't never heard that.
Steve, I done heard you be talking white, you be white girling me all the time. I ain't, y'all be doing it, but I'm gonna say like when it come to that, being dark skinned help alleviate a lot of that, and like I think there's like I think that like helps as far as like when it comes to the thing, but I think the real issue is the suburban. Like,
wait, Johnny, before you go further, what do you mean by being dark skinned?
Because we just talked about
he on his high horse today, boy. He like, hey man, I'm
you just said you didn't believe in colorism, but then you said being dark skinned alleviates the white girl title, the suburban black title. What do you mean by that?
But as far as like walking out in the middle, like the colorism, like I'm getting treated different ways, and I was gonna say like a lot of the suburban things. I think a lot of the hood and poor socioeconomics do get associated with darker skin, and a lot of the suburban more educated gets associated with having more fairer, lighter skin. But like I think having seen kind of both sides of it, I know the true thing is it's not the color of the skin, because I've seen light skinned niggas get treated like they dark skinned. I've seen dark skinned niggas get treated like it. It's also that socioeconomic that comes down at the end of the day. That's always the differentiator, and how well you're accepted or how well whatever you want.
So are you saying that there's a black class identity issue?
Yes.
And do you agree with her on like the performativeness of like a lot of suburban blacks?
Absolutely, because I mean, even like I fell victim to the performative aspect of it and trying to fit in, and even being dark skinned because I'm where I'm from, I feel like I got to do certain things in order to be considered more black. And so like I think there's a lot of performative things that come with it, just based on the
You cop the brick.
No, but I've copped the. Never mind. We ain't going.
Hey, Black, talk to us.
The middle linebacker.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with the young lady. I mean, there's definitely complexity for a young black male, especially if you grow up in suburbia or well-off means, searching for, who your identity is. Because I think America kind of, tells you who and what a black man is and can be, So when you are that suburban black kid, you're already an outlier already as far as what society deems you as. So you're in this atmosphere of trying to find yourself. And that's why, I think that's why you have artists like Kanye and the Wale's and the Backpack. They resonated with that whole new crop of we're not hood, but we ain't hoes either, because we might go to the hood.
But they were hood niggas. They were smart hood niggas.
Like Kanye wasn't a hood nigga, but Lupe is a smart hood nigga.
But Kanye was like affiliated with real Chicago niggas, from my understanding.
And I think a lot of
he didn't represent the hood though. Like he didn't represent the hood.
I'm not saying he represented the hood, but he
might have been from the hood, but he represented.
You talking about like post being famous? I don't think like his come up was around real Chicago.
Before he got put on the Chicago scene, he was like in all the spots that niggas not supposed to be at. From my
that was based on music though. That was based on him doing music.
Sure, it's based on music, but what I'm saying is like
the life he was living. He was just trying to go blow up on music.
It's one thing to be born into a situation. It's another thing to like say that you're not of a certain culture. Like, because I know niggas, for example, who got 2-parent homes, live in the suburbs, and is the coldest crip in the city.
Overcompensating. That's what we talking about right now.
But you can overcompensate all you want, but he's the coldest nigga in the city. You call him overcompensating, he will toast you. roast you.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like that's a part of overcompensating.
I'm scared of that nigga.
Yeah, I'm scared of that too.
That's my point.
Like overcompensating niggas, they'll jump off the ledge.
Being a suburban nigga, them the boys I'm scared of the most. I'm like, shit, nigga.
No, listen. Like if you went to a HBCU, 9 times out of 10, it was the suburban black that popped off the fight first. It was a lot of them niggas that once I went to their house and I was like, damn, you got 3 stories in this motherfucker.
And they be light skinned in mine.
Listen, what you saying is true. Maybe we know the same light skinned nigga, but yeah. But at first you be like, damn, you outside smoking blacks with the niggas. And we go to the club and shit, we all like you gonna pop off the fight with us. And then you go home with them. What like yeah, you go to like they spot for
you
whatever
got a Picasso
reason.
in your house. You got a Picasso.
Like you got a gym upstairs. I'm like,
you got a driveway, 2 cars.
Yeah.
Pool
outside.
Stairs in your house.
Yeah.
She said, "Be quiet, my dad. You got a Picasso."
But that's what I'm saying though. It's like, you know, it's always an identity crisis for black men in suburbia, you know. So there is that overcompensation factor that some everybody don't fall victim to it, but a lot of them, you know, they want to be gangster, they want to, you know, find that identity, and some are not that far removed. Some do got cousins that's still in the hood, or grandma still in the hood, or somebody where they can still like claim some type of affiliation to it. And so you have a lot of that. It's like, you know, I'm not in the hood, but my cousin the killer, or my cousin he a dope boy, or
what's T.I.'s name? That's what he
mean, that nigga King. He funny as hell, bro.
Nah, shout out to Money.
Didn't you stop me off with my grandma?
King.
I ain't always had a stuff. You dropped y'all.
Yo, that nigga funny as hell, bro.
Yeah.
Shout out his big brother Damani though. Damani be rapping. I fuck with Damani.
Shout out to him.
But yeah, I would just
white man on him is hilarious. Go ahead, A Black. My bad.
No, I was saying I agree with the girl, and like, you know, I think it explains, you know, Drake and the Travis Scotts, you know, of the world, who they grow up more so with an aesthetic of blackness and really not the reality of it. And that's where it's kind of that detachment that they have, where they tone deaf at times, and how they present themselves, how they represent the culture, you know, because they a part of it. They black too, but they also it's layers to it, you know. So I think we coming into that seeing the different kinds of blackness, and that it is more than a color. It's definitely a mind state, and you know what you stand for and what you represent too. Because you can be black as the night and hate niggas, and you can be, you know, high yellow and be the most pro-black person in the world. So it's beyond color. It's where your mind at. Black is a cultural mind state more so than just the color sometimes.
G, talk to me, brother.
I can agree with the mind state piece, and the way I kind of frame it is like use an example of somebody I know who has 2 parents, both with PhDs. However, the father grew up in a situation where he grew up in poverty, didn't have running water, nobody in his family could read. He's the first one to learn how to read, first one to go to college, happened to get a PhD. That's the father. So so even though he's got a PhD, what he comes from is not of that sort of
a real one. His dad was
exactly.
Okay.
And then the mother has a PhD. She's born on the south side of Chicago. Her mother's a drug addict. She had to take care of her siblings, and she happened to make her way out of the south side to school, end up getting a PhD. So, but then they have kids. So even though these people got PhDs with kids, they are from very urban and rural poor backgrounds. Okay. So the mindset that they have, even though they have PhDs, is of a very like socioeconomic low class. And so like to the point of like,
wait, my bad. Say that again. Say that last sentence that you
the
said. The
mindsets that they have, even though they have PhDs, their mindset is of a lower socioeconomic class. It's a very much a scarcity mindset, even though they have PhDs. They grew up poor, they grew up without resources, and that shaped how they see life. So even though they got PhDs, they still think like the people they grew up as who didn't have it. You get what I'm saying? Like you know how they say you could take somebody out the hood, but you can't take the hood out of them. It's of that similar sort of saying. And when you are talking about like a Travis Scott or whatever the case, like I don't know, you know, from my understanding, the niggas from Houston, that's a very black city. You know, Houston's one of the biggest metropolitan areas in all United States. And for black people, it's arguably one of the biggest cities outside of Atlanta where you can see like affluent black people doing their thing, like in a city. So like with the Houston, for example, like just because you happen to do okay doesn't mean that like you're an outlier from everything else around you. The community where you spend your time at, the church, the sports teams you play on, the schools you go to, the classes you're in, etc. So it just because like your parents seemingly had some resources and moved to a quote unquote neighborhood, it doesn't necessarily mean that they raised you as if like you're the other kids who had a generational like upbringing in a neighborhood. It's like your parents, even though they might be living a middle-class life, can instill this scarcity mindset and lifestyle into their children because they don't know no better. Like,
can I push back on it a little bit? As like having like educated parents and like even if you're from the hood, but the thing about them degrees and like you said, the parent
2 PhDs.
The thing, like if you got them 2 PhDs, even if you're in the hood, that mindset not gonna be scarcity. It's gonna be go get that degree, go get that education.
No,
that's how. Like if they got 2 PhDs, like why wouldn't they teach that and put that education? And that's my thing as far as like the mindset, even outside of socioeconomic, it's like the education piece and like how much like you put in.
You can have great education, Johnny, and have a terrible credit score and fall in bankruptcy, have your shit foreclosed, and have no financial literacy.
I'm saying, but everybody I know that has them degrees, they preach
PhD does not equal financial literacy.
I'm saying, but especially older black people, when they're educated, they preach about how much going to them white school, going to them schools will change your life. And they preach about, hey, if you just get this degree, life is going to, like, that's one of the things. This one, even
that's what messed us up.
But it is one of the beefs I even have. But like, you can't say that wasn't a mindset thing where like, if they went to college and they got those degrees, they weren't coming back preaching that scarcity mindset.
Yeah, I would say that like from like what I have seen, it's rare that 2 parents that are doing really well raise hood kids. And I
don't
like,
know.
What you're saying is that like in the suburbs, a good percentage of the blacks that are coming out of the suburbs are being raised as hood kids.
Nah,
bro. I
think it's such a like small minority.
Even as,
and I even know like
I can agree with that. I don't know.
Yeah, when you say hood, I mean if you look back, all of our heroes, they were raised in the hood with 2 parents. So,
yes,
so what does that mean?
All of our heroes,
but as black
people, I think that, and that's cool. I think that there's a big difference between being raised in like middle class in or the like the suburbs, comparatively, like what the environment brings, the resources, and what your parents can allot in comparison to being raised like literally check to check in the hood, whether that's 1 or 2 parent household, and a lot of like just the abilities of and lessons. Like if you're being raised and you're the first generation college kid, in itself is a way different journey than having multi-generational like college people. And you see that even when you go to go to college, the kids that have like a real good path, typically they end up coming from parents that have had multi-generational college students. And the kids is fumbling around going inside like social sciences. These motherfuckers end up being
let me hop in there first.
Can I just say this real quick? Having a degree doesn't mean you're educated.
Thank you.
Nobody would ever say that.
Also, doesn't mean you're financially literate.
I wouldn't say that either. But I think that you eventually start not teaching hood specific.
No. See, but can I make a clarifying point on what I mean by teaching? Can I make a clarifying point on that?
Okay.
I just want to make a clarifying point. What I'm saying is that it's a mindset. So it's not so much so from a scarcity mindset. So for example, if you grew up as a type of person who would go to the fast food restaurant and take as many utensils and napkins as possible, which is something that like I did, for example, if I roll up in McDonald's, I'm walking on there with all the forks. I'm the reason why they charge for sauce. I'm the reason why they make sure that you don't have utensils. I'm gonna take napkins, silverware, all that shit. I'm taking it to the crib. Now, if you are in middle class, doing well, not living, but you still do those sort of behaviors, that's a scarcity mindset. You don't need to take all the napkins and forks from McDonald's.
But I do agree. I agree. And I got you. Hold on. But I think that
when I say you have a certain mindset,
and I can agree with that.
Your behaviors carry on.
I can agree with that.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, but I also think that that's way different than if we go to what the lady was talking about, or kind of like what we're hinting at in general within this conversation. There's a difference between a scarcity mindset and performative blackness, where like if you're performing hood shit, that has nothing to do with scarcity mindset. If you are, like you said, the biggest crip in the city that came from the suburbs and has two parents that do well, I think that like these are different concepts. Did I imagine that's not blackness. I agree, but the concept we're talking about
English and blackish.
Let me hop in there. Hey, man, hold on. Like one thing I'm gonna say, like as far as like when it comes to scarcity mindset, the thing, add black people, and like I got first generation people that was like in the shit and they're first generation out. Mm-hmm. Even if you're not out, even if you're not all the way out, that scarcity mindset, once you see the other side, you're not preaching that shit. You're not trying to
Johnny, it's not about preaching it.
And you're not, but it's like when it comes to that education, you're not like.
But there's a big difference between performing like negative black tropes and taking napkins, though.
I mean, I don't know the difference. I mean,
you don't know the difference.
Again, like yo,
but no. What I'm saying is though, like even first generation, mm-hmm. you try to instill a different mindset in the next generation than what you grew up with. Even if you haven't even all the way got there,
I don't know.
Even if you haven't all the way, you try to.
You don't think the majority of black people that make it from like lower class
instilling the same mindset generation?
We're not disagreeing, Johnny. Me and you aren't disagreeing.
Okay.
So G, you're saying that like most people that go from lower socioeconomics to middle or upper class continue to instill the exact same behaviors inside those same kids.
Is our generation not the first generation that's not going to do better than their parents?
But is that because of like the way their parents instilled it, or how the economy?
We're talking about what parents instill, right?
But those have nothing to do with each other. Like the way, like, because America's society in general, like this isn't a black thing. This is like American society and how inflation is hitting capitalism has moved it to where like people can't afford the basics of like a house right now. Like you would have to work the equivalent of being somebody that worked 2 jobs back in the day to get a house now. Like these are different concepts.
So
that's why like you want, like most people aren't going to do as better. Aren't going to do better than their parents. But the barrier of entry for middle class is different. These aren't like an ethical, moral like statement.
So okay, so you're telling me that just because you went to school, you taught your children to do better. Like I just want to make sure.
I'm not saying it just because you did that.
Typically, that is the case.
But I think that
why is that typically the case? I'm not understanding that.
Because education opens you up to more things you would see if you didn't go to school. It expands your mind. Your network gets bigger. Like, why wouldn't it be the case?
You know how many people are educated who do not do well?
We talking about mindset. We talking about extending the different mindset. Even if you're not doing well, college changes the way you think, your mindset, the lifestyle that you live in college. I think I've been the person that said college is more about living the 4 years amongst your peers more so it is than the education. And it's because it changes the way you think and the way you interact. And if you go through that, why wouldn't it change the mindset that you instill in your kids?
Hey, Black, you look like you want to hop in.
No, I was just gonna say, I mean, just going to school just don't make you educated. And I mean, I agree there's more to schooling. There's a socialization part that Johnny's talking about and networking that can be just as valuable as your degree. But I mean, I think the likeliness of breaking cycles is higher when when you go to school, when you in a 2-parent household. It's not guaranteed. We all know exceptions.
That's all I'm saying. It's not even exceptions.
I know some broke PhDs. I know some
Mhm.
lawyers who, work at a bank. Who not doing no law.
But the
I
chances
know
of
people who
that
make lots of money who are financially irresponsible because they don't have no financial education. So it's not guaranteed when you have those factors, but I think it is more likely, and it has to be consistency down the line. You got
That's the
just like you
thing.
got old money and new money. It's the same with classism. So you got that doctor, that PhD, that's the first of their generation that scratched to get it, and then you got the doctor who's the fifth, who's named after his great great granddad, the fifth, and he was a doctor, and his granddaddy was a doctor, and so you got levels to it for sure, and that's when the whole classism thing steps in, and your pedigree. When you get in certain circles, that matters. It's like it don't care that you a doctor, you make money. What was your dad? What was your granddad? What was their business? They care about the longevity of your pedigree versus like you just having new money, because that can come and go. But if you come from that background, they know that you can instill it and it'll keep going. It's more likely. But some people will hit it big, and they the only ones that hit it big in their family because they don't know how to pass it down properly.
Yeah. Steve, let's start moving to the panel. Not the panel, the call-ins for a quick second. They didn't heard us argue enough about this. Steve, talk to us, brother. What's your thoughts?
Yeah. So, I do think the scenario which y'all describing, in which you see people from typically which we would associate with like better socioeconomic standing, then performing what they think black people supposed to be like acting like, and I think that got a lot to do with like the reward mechanism of society, because those behaviors is rewarded with, whether it's clicks on the internet, popularity, so forth, so on. So I think a lot of times it's not so much that these people is like consciously thinking about this. They just see what's rewarded, by the algorithm now in 2025. And I think that's why sometimes people fall into this trap of like, oh, I'm from the suburbs, but I see XYZ behaviors is more likely to get me play or whatever the case may be. And I think that's kind of what people falling into. It's like this negative peer pressure, of what they think blackness is. And because so much of our image and media is associated with poverty and so forth, so on, I think people end up associating blackness with those negative things because that's how we are like depicted when we see ourselves on TV and whatever.
Ice Cube was from the suburbs.
But I also think it's a confidence thing to where, like, as a person from the suburbs, to like, you gotta have confidence to understand that you black and that like I walk the same struggle. It's gonna be a little different socioeconomic, but like to act like as all black people in this one thing together, that like the suburban people just got it so much easier.
And I don't think this
same
is
struggle. We have to give each other that same grace. Like
I don't think this is a social phenomenon that only impact suburban black folk. I think like a lot of black people is impacted by what's perceived to be rewarded in the culture, by like what we see on TV, whatever the case may be, and and a lot because we doing a disservice to act like it's not a lot of good families that don't live in the quote unquote hood. You know what I'm saying? Like
of course,
so it's I think it do impact a lot of people because we don't, like, I think somebody said it on here one day, we don't control our image or whatever. I think Old Man might have said it one day on here, like we don't control how we perceive in society, and then that ends up messing with people's how they identify what blackness is or whatever the case may be.
No, that's facts.
I dig it. Kofi, talk to us, brother. I think Kofi might have
Oh, I'm here.
Okay.
What Camu got?
Kofi done fell asleep over there.
I'm
Man.
on that Wonga over there.
Yeah. Repeat the question.
Olive rice.
Oh, is that what that is? I seen him take a sip. We gonna get to you, Kamu. Shout out to our brother.
Kofi. Yeah, repeat the question. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now we're speaking about the socioeconomic component of if there is a Black identity crisis. And the meme kind of spoke to the idea of a lot of suburban Black people tend to feel the need to perform what they believe is Blackness.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of agree with what G said. G brought up a very, very good example how you could have someone from a very achieve all the things they're supposed to achieve, educational wise, and of course the economics fall in place. But if your mindset is a certain way, it really doesn't matter. My wife has a cousin, right? And her mother is an immigrant, and her father is a Black American. I'm not going to use FBA, that's disrespectful, right? And the father was on crack, and so her mother was on crack too. So her parents, she wasn't raised by her parents, because obviously he's a Black American, he's just here, and they deported her back to the Caribbean because you keep violating the law and you're not an official citizen. So I'm saying that to set it up. So she lived with her grandmother. She was living with her cousin. This grandma's not those disciplinarian grandmas. It's those grandmas like whatever. So she had her cousin that was she go stripping, she was prostituting, she was doing all this other stuff, right? They could have guys in and outside the house. Now, my wife's cousin lived in that situation, but she didn't fall victim to that situation, right? Her cousin had kids out of wedlock, didn't go to school, but her cousin went to graduate, got her GED. She graduated college. So you could be in the same situation and still rise above it. So it's a multifaceted thing, because not everyone is is victim of their circumstances. Some people rise above it. So when it comes to like classism has so many moving parts. You have some people that are same example, another cousin married an American lady, right? She told me, he's like, no, I have a cousin. He is supposed to be, hey, he's like the best. So guys need to be more like him, and da-da-da. And dude says, no, I could be on drugs and be fine because I'm smart. Because look, I have a doctorate, and I could do drugs and be a functional person. And everyone is like, what? What are you talking about? And he's, for the most part, functional. Sometimes he falls off, but then again, they have this.
What do you mean by that?
Well, saying he could be a functional drug addict. And I guess everyone.
When you say drugs, what do you mean by that?
Use like probably cocaine, crack, or whatever, and things like that. And he just felt that he could do no.
And he could still kind of like operate and work.
Yeah, be productive.
Mad niggas hit them rocks and can get the job done. Like, let's just be honest.
That's the point. That's the point.
Out here on the rocks who can get the job done, and they work.
My nigga Hunter Biden was on. Listen, Hunter Biden was telling niggas how to cook it on the news. I say, wait,
that's Griffin. He was
cooking it right now. And niggas say like it's better than alcoholism. I thought that was crazy. That shit just happened like a week ago.
But that's like Robert F. Kennedy saying that he had to take cocaine just to get through the hard times. It's the same shit.
Hunter Biden said crack the best drug ever by far.
Oh yeah, he said it ain't got no impurity. He said like he was kind of yeah.
He said he said I don't even want to talk about my time doing crack. It's gonna sound like I'm endorsing it, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, it's either that or that white girl, because John F. Kennedy, he says he sniffs that white girl and he got brain worm, so whatever. But I'm saying this to say to G's point that classism is very multifaceted. We would think someone that's come from a place of well-esteemed, two-parent home, would do better, but that's not always the case. So another example that I landed right here, I think I mentioned this before, like Jada Kiss comes from a very well I think his mother or father is a lawyer, and the other one is like an engineer or some shit like that. Jada Kiss was never in the streets, but he's a good writer.
No, he
You know what I'm
was.
saying?
Jadakiss was in the streets, but he grew up in a nice home. That's the
Nigga
difference.
shaved
in Mount Vernon.
Yeah,
So
he
this
shout out
was
to Joe
outside.
Button podcast. They did the whole
They
history
talked
on the
about
Joe
that.
Button
Yeah.
He
podcast.
go bald
Okay,
and
cool.
you
I should check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I should check that out.
shout out. Oh yeah. Well,
Got that
we got a
coffee.
couple new guys joining in. We got Quincy, we got Unc. But before then, oh man, talk to us, brother.
I'll keep it quick so you can get to the other people. I think just moving up as a Black person is a scary thing because it's almost like we're committing self-sabotage because we don't want to leave our people behind. So I think that's a big mentorship. We got to figure out how to reconnect with the people who have made it so they can kind of guide us on how to stay connected to our base, our soul, our people, and still climb that ladder. That's all my comment.
I dig it. Quincy, talk to us. Again, right now we're talking about the socio-economic component when we talk about is there a Black identity crisis? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, so okay, where do I start? So I got a unique relationship with this, right? Long story short, I grew up in the hood, but I went to a private school that had like the mayor's kids, like the big man in town who owned all the businesses, his kids. Fast forward, college, the high school I went to kind of had a whole mixture of the upper class, middle class, lower class, and even with the college I went to, right? So, and me being from the hood, I've always, to a certain degree, despised Negroes who grew up in nice neighborhoods trying to play hood. Because I grew up. Now I wasn't in the worst hood in my city, but it wasn't. It was close to it, right?
Oh, no, I agree.
So,
I have these sentiments here.
yeah. Sure. So I got a real disdain because every time I see him, I'm like, you fake. You know what I mean? You trying to front. And the biggest thing is that I've seen it where you have the dad made it out. Somebody earlier was speaking about how the dad came from the gut and the moms came from the gut and they made it out, right? So they make it out, and then their kids want to play hard and play tough, and then they go right back to the nigga shit. And so it's like 5 steps forward, and then your kids trying to play tough and want to be hood. And now they and who they associate with, the girl done had a kid by somebody from the hood, the dude and got caught up into whatever he done got caught up in. And now it's like you did all this stuff to get away from it, and then they running right back to it. So like generationally, it's like y'all can't even excel and get past it because this lure of the hood. Well, I'm gonna say this gonna sound real boomer of me. I blame hip hop, and I blame hip hop because see the unique thing about hip hop is that hip hop became like the blob. It just absorbed everything that Black people ever did that was cool. From after the 80s when hip hop blew, everything we ever did got attributed to hip hop. Even if it had, like prior to hip hop, it was all kind of different genres, different scenes, right? Either you're on the psychedelic scene, over there with the funk, over there with the jazz, all these different scenes, right? But after hip hop came out, everything just got lumped in under hip hop. If you a kid that came up with some slang that had nothing to do with a rap song, they called it hip hop. So it's so because everything kind of got funneled through hip hop, now it's controlled by the powers that be because we didn't control what got put out there, right? Now the whole industry of what's supposed to be cool is funneled through hip hop, and then suddenly everybody.
Would you agree or disagree if we say it's more about gangster rap than hip hop? Would you plant some blame on gangster rap specifically, or the whole hip hop culture?
And then I got a question after that too for you, Quincy.
So it's two parts to the answer. So I blame hip hop in that hip hop tries to take claim for everything, right? And if it claims everything that's brand new and everything gets funneled through it, then within hip hop, what gets pushed to the front, which is gangster rap, right? So it's kind of like a catch-22. Like within hip hop, gangster rap gets pushed to the front, but everything y'all trying to claim everything hip hop. So I think it's kind of like both to a certain degree. Like
and then Quincy, can I ask you this? Like as like a suburban guy, and like you see where they like position where we at in Black culture. Can you blame suburban people for then trying to, double back?
He's not suburban. He grew up in the hood.
I'm asking the question. I'm saying like if,
Johnny's saying he's the victim of the blob that he talked about.
No, I'm saying like
are you not saying that?
I'm saying if all in blackness is glorified as like the hood shit,
yeah,
and you're suburban and you feel like a black person, can you blame a person for trying to go back and live a little bit of that struggle life if you're going to then get blamed for not having the struggle? If they're gonna knock your blackness, oh, you didn't go through the struggle, you didn't live in the hood. As a suburban person, if I'm in this position and I try to go back and get a little bit of the struggle, can I then be knocked, or can you then be mad at people for trying to do that when the I think
it's rational for sure.
When the culture has like told us you need these stripes, you need this struggle as a part of your blackness, can you still then be mad at?
Like that's the interesting nuance. Go ahead.
I will say with young brothers, man, especially when you're trying to be cool, you're 13, 14, kind of coming into your own, trying to figure out how to spit game, trying to figure out how to dress. You know, I don't blame them. I don't blame them for, you know, because we all kind of one generation removed. Everybody got a cousin or somebody still in the hood. So ain't like you got to go that far to reach back to it, right? So I don't blame them. I don't blame young brothers.
Even our generation. Us, like,
I don't. Well, grown folks is grown, but
but I'm saying, but a lot of the stupid shit we did was when we was kids under this influence.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like even when they become adults, they keep it through childhood.
Hey, Quincy, Johnny was trying to separate himself from you.
What you talking about, adult? 18 to 21?
Nah, Johnny, you trying to throw some ageism in there. You trying to separate yourself from Quincy. You an old nigga too, Johnny.
Yeah,
you part of the 35 and up club.
I don't blame the young high school brothers for kind of dibbling and dabbling a little bit, but you got to know where to draw the line at. You know what I mean? Because it's some places you don't need to be. It's some people you don't need to be around. And you know, and the funny thing about it, all the folks, like I said, I knew these folks my whole life. It's like when you go to their house, like you said, you go to their house, they got a basketball court that's in the cement too. Like first time ever, like in the cement on the driveway. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and I never looked at them. Personally, I never looked at them any different. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, okay, you got it like that. All right, cool. You know, because they was just cool. Like a lot of them was just cool as they were, but they was trying to, I guess, get cool points.
Yeah, typically, once you start performing hood shit and you got a cemented in basketball goal, I do start looking at it different.
Yeah, and real quick, I just
that didn't show no love to the cemented basketball back in the day.
Didn't y'all have a cemented basketball court?
They show no love. Y'all ain't show no love to the cemented basketball goal back in the
day. Oh no, listen, we
suburban ass hood niggas.
Hey, listen, I would love for anybody to say that I was a suburban hood, a suburban nigga growing up right next to Double Oaks in Fairview.
Yeah,
I don't think that anybody would ever make that statement. But no, and we had a backyard. If shout out to the neighborhood. We did have a cemented.
That's some suburban.
Once upon a time,
some suburban shit though.
I do think that I'll be making justifications. I ain't got to make a justification.
I ain't mean to call you out, nephew. I ain't mean to call you out.
No, but Q been cosplaying.
Hey, Q had a driveway. Q had a driveway.
No, Q definitely ain't cosplaying. It's just right here. It's just right here. We grew up. Our family always grew up differently than other people. Like, you know what I'm saying? We might not have had a whole lot, but we always have had a lot more than the people that was around us. That's this third, fourth generation shit with us. Because see, we make our money spend better for us than to go check the check and do this at wherever. We'd rather go where our money spend good at. And if that's in the hood or this or that, wherever, we're going to do what we got to do. But we're not going to live check to check, and we're not going to sit around, and we're still going to be able to take our kids on vacation. And we might say what they want to say about us, but what it is that you got to sometimes go where your money spent best at. And that don't mean that you broke. That don't mean that you this or that or whatever. What it do is mean that you're conscious about the money that you have and the things that you have and the things you want to provide your kids with.
Financially
and the area that you yeah. We're a very financially literate family. That's us.
Yeah, what I'm saying? My story, like again, I never like claim any version of like hardness, but I think if you just Google where my neighborhood was at, like I don't think that there's like a thing to say about it. But at the same time, I often always say like we were the 2-parent household in the neighborhood. Like everybody else, I like there wasn't any other like 2-parent household. So like we did have like the backyard where some niggas will come into and you could hoop a little bit. We had like little 4 little block little whatchamacallit. My dad put the little cement in because I had a dad at the house. This is a true thing, but at the same time, like I said, go ahead, Johnny.
Like, and I was gonna say, even whether it was West Boulevard or wherever, you know, West Side hood in the Charlotte, whether it's suburban Rock Hill, as far as like it's the same mindset, and I think that's why we get along. Like even outside of like you could say you know not suburban, whatever. I'm suburban, whatever, but it's the same mindset. I think a lot of our parents.
Yeah, I also don't say I'm a hood nigga either.
But I'm saying, but like regardless of where they raised us, we was raised with similar mindsets, and I think it's a mindset that's positive. I think it is fruitful. You can look at it, and I think the way our parents raised us, no matter what part of Charlotte or Rock Hill or wherever it was, that's the kind of mindset that raises.
But can I speak to what you're talking about, Johnny? Because that's what like my thing earlier was a scarcity mindset is not what your uncle just described. For example, that's a very much like aware of the reality of life, having financial literacy, living below your means. If you're living below your means and maximizing your dollars, that's not a scarcity mindset. That's exactly. That's not a scarcity mindset. What we tend to see,
but I also don't think like just being in the hood is specifically like I know people that had less than me who parents didn't raise them in like quote unquote what you are describing as a scarcity mindset.
A scarcity mindset is and there are books that talk about this like and frame it. So like when I talk about scarcity mindset, it's this idea that like again like you have limited resources versus maximizing your resources. Just that simply put. Are you looking at maximize what you have, or are you not maximizing what you have? You see what I'm saying? Or do you see it as limited? Like do you have what you have? Are you trying to maximize it, or do you just see it as limited?
But to add to that though, I think outside of resources, because like I said, we was raised in 2 different places, with similar mindsets. I think the mind outside, like I don't like the scarcity because it's about like what you have present day, but it's about like raising kids with ability and like the ability to change, like giving people
that
the resources.
Goes into the mindset
though. You keep kind of looping different concepts together. Like I agree closely.
Scarcity and a growth mindset. Those are the two but
scarcity is about what you have right now. If you're scarcity, but if you're preaching like ability, hey son, we might not have it right now, but I'm teaching you and giving you the skills.
Johnny, you're talking about mindset, not ability. You're talking about mindset. That's not ability. How you think about your situation is not speak to your ability to handle it.
Talking about the mindset.
I'm saying mindset. There's a scarcity mindset and a growth mindset. What you're describing is a growth mindset.
Right, and I guess that's the point
in scarcity situations.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't think you
don't have to have resources to have that mindset.
I never said that. That's my point. I think y'all misheard. Like you can be poor and have a growth mindset, but the average poor person does not have a growth mindset.
But do you think that's because of like the mindset they're paying, or you think that is like have stuff to do with like experience, access to like
has to do with the whole education. Everything.
I don't even know if I agree with
there's a lot of things that go into like the way your mindset is.
Are you familiar with the concept of growth versus scarcity mindset? Is that even something you're familiar with? Because it's like a whole book on. I can share the link, but are you familiar?
I haven't personally read the book, but I mean I can kind of break it down as far as like growth versus like if it's 2 different mindsets.
But we're talking about different things, and I think that's where we're miscommunicating. Because I'm talking about something based off of something that I've read from a framework, and I think y'all are hearing the word scarcity and automatically tying that to physical resources, as I'm only talking about the mindset.
But what I'm saying is the mindset. Like there are people like he was one of the examples. Like they can come from scarcity situations and have the mindset. But like there's people from my neighborhood in what we call the suburbs, and they don't
And
have
they can
the
have
same
a scarcity mindset in the suburbs. You're
But what
correct.
that comes from is the education and like
Not
it's an
necessarily.
intentionality. It's not like it doesn't come from the actual resources or the situation you're in. It's a mindset thing, and you can't
It's
just
a
put it
book.
on
It's actually a
suburbs
book. It's actually a
or
book called
the hood.
Mindset. I'll shout it out. It's a book called Mindset. It's by Carol S. Dweck, PhD. It's called Mindset: The New Psychology
I'll read
of
it.
Success.
Actually, yeah, we can read that.
Y'all should check it out. And that's the framework in which I'm talking about. And when she breaks down mindsets from a scarcity versus growth mindset potential, that's the specific book I'm talking about, just for reference. And what I'm saying is, Johnny, is that the way you're framing it, what you're saying is true. I'm not saying that that the mindset itself is based off of where you're born and so forth. But what I am saying is that when you look at the average person in a under earning, like
less
poor
resources.
area
with less resources.
With less resources, what you tend to come across is a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. That's what you tend to come across. That's what I'm saying.
And what I'm saying is, if there's one thing we could fix to make it better, would be that growth mindset. And if we look at like the things like even amongst us where we've had parents that like allowed us to have the growth, I call it ability. Like my parents told me I always had the ability regardless of the color of my skin and the things black people went through. If there are certain things I do, I have the ability, the intelligence, and the capability to change, my reality. And whether it's growth or fix, I think that's something that black people need to like really believe and like have like a confidence in, is our ability to change our reality, and that the color of our skin was not a hindrance. And I think that's one of the like mindset things that it is different. And with it, like I said, you can come from the hood, you can come from the suburbs. Two-parent household, I think, really matters in that. I really think that matters, especially like I really, really think that matters.
Can I jump in for a second, please? Yo, the whole thing that the meme that y'all showed was she was talking about hood tethers. That's what she was speaking of. People that's not from the hood act like they from the hood and tell you about things that they read or listen to music about that's from the hood. She was speaking of hood tethers. As FBA always said tethers, she's speaking of hood tethers, and there are hood tethers. There are people that's not from the hood, but they have a mind. They want you to believe they have a mindset of them being from the hood. If you're not from the hood, that's I always say, everybody has jobs. If your job is to be a suburban dude, be a suburban dude. Everybody has a job. Your job ain't to know hood stuff and do hood stuff. We need people everywhere. We don't just need people, everybody to be just from the hood. But that's what she was speaking of, hood tellers. People that's not from the hood that try to act like they're from the hood or want you to believe they're from the hood. That's really what she was speaking of.
I had a question though, based on like how hip hop is and the state of our culture. Can you blame people that's not from the hood for trying to be from the hood? If like a lot of people will like base your blackness on your relation to the hood, can you blame non-hood people for trying to get those stripes?
Yes, I can, because it's called ignorance. That's what it's called, ignorance. It's ignorance.
The culture, like I get called.
Why would you want to be? No, I'm saying
people try to question my blackness, but I'm saying, and I'm a strong motherfucker. I ain't gonna go, but I'm saying, but can you like blame a motherfucker for trying to like get some of that struggles, some of them stripes from the struggle on them? If motherfuckers will tell you you're not really black for not having the struggle, can you blame
anybody that tell you that you're not really black because you're not from the hood is ignorant too? But if you sit there and try to pretend you're from the hood, that means that you're even more ignorant. Why would you want to put yourself in a situation that everybody's trying to get out of? Do you understand what I'm saying?
What I'm saying,
so you are being a hood tether.
But no, I'm finna call him red, but nah, I'm just saying, like, if your blackness is tied to how much struggle you went through, no matter how dark skinned I am, if I'm from here, I need the struggle to validate my blackness. And why would you blame me?
No. Your blackness has nothing to do with struggling. You're gonna be black regardless. And when a white officer look at you, they're not gonna look at you and say, "Oh, he's from the suburbs," or "he's from here." They just see you as a black person. So that struggle right there is something that.
But Uncle, the hood,
Yeah.
the culture don't tell me that. The culture tell me, "Oh, you from the suburbs? You don't really know about being." That's what the culture tells me. You can say that,
but
but culture, that's not what mainstream blackness is.
Mainstream blackness is being a black person. Hood doesn't mean that you're black. Just because you're from the hood don't mean that you're black. You have to look at it like this right here. Hood is really more or less the area you live in. It's a mindset. You don't have to be hood and be. You don't have to be just because you're black and you're in the hood, and that means that you're just a hood person. Look, it's plenty of people that's on this right now that's from the hood, but none of them have hood mentality. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't have to do with that. It's about your mindset and with the capabilities that you have yourself to do what you're doing. It's not just those that have that type of mindset are the ones that are grown ass men riding bicycles with no shirt on at 2:30 in the afternoon. That's the mindset you're speaking of. And if you're looking up to them, far as in them wanting to say that you're black or not, they're not black. What they are is niggas. You're looking up for niggas to tell you what you need to be.
That's not the only place where that mindset arrived. That's not the only place where it arrived. That's hilarious. Hilarious. That's not the only place.
In a hood tether, bro.
You can't hear it. But no, I'm just
niggas can't ride no bikes
with the shirt off at 2:30 in the afternoon. Listen, now
you can't have it. You can't have it
with a 40 in one hand. With a 40 in one hand.
The thing is, everybody know exactly what he's talking about.
A DV at 2:30 p.m. is insane.
Yeah.
Kamu, welcome to the show, man. What's going on, brother?
How's it, gents? No. I'm proper, my brother. Look, Johnny, dog, you gotta tap in with the hood, dog. I mean, why would you not want to be around?
That's crazy.
Kamu, hey Kamu, the only shit from America that you fuck with come from the hood.
He told you to tap in. That's why he said
you're not tapped in, my brother.
He said tap in, bro.
Oh, he said I gotta be no hood.
Then he said you gotta tap in with the hood, bro.
Oh, Uncle told me I'm stupid for trying to tap into the hood. I'm trying to.
So, Kamu, if we take this to South Africa, I guess the better question would be: so over there, is there a version of like classism that exists between the like I don't know what you would call like the South African hoods in comparison, the slums in comparison to like the people that have over there? Is there like its own like cultural differences in like class for the same people of the same ethnic background, but depending on their own socioeconomic levels?
Yeah, there are nuances. And you know, with us is divided. It's not just the hood and the suburbs. No. It's the hood. No, it's the suburbs, the hood, and the village. So our biggest city was founded in yeah. So our biggest city was founded in 1886, right? And it took us almost 30 years until the Union of South Africa was founded. And then from the Union of South Africa, it was like after 3 years, they created a law that takes black people out of the cities to the homesteads, which today we refer to as the villages. And then from that's when they started creating the hoods and all of that. So you have your cities, you have your hoods, and you have your villages. Still have most of our people in the village, but man, there's a certain level of race that comes with people who come from the hood. Doesn't matter how many generations you are in the suburbs, you gotta tap in with the hood. You can't really. It's not that our blackness is tied to the hood, but you can't really speak to the masses when you don't have an experience of how the hood is shaped and how people in the hood talk and the struggles in the hood. So the hood is sort of like the epicenter of blackness, even though it's I agree
The
with
epicenter.
that
Shout
it
out to
shouldn't be.
Charlotte. That was an era. The
It was.
epicenter of blackness.
It was.
The epicenter. Hey,
The epicenter.
Saturday.
Hey, yeah, come on. You don't even know what you
Epicenter.
did right there, but yeah, shout out to
2:30
Charlotte.
a.m. Epicenter. Everybody.
Epicenter was real.
That was an era.
Epicenter was real.
Abu, he don't even know what he did.
He don't even know what he did right there.
He don't even know what he did.
But I want to. That statement of the hood being the epicenter of blackness is a powerful statement. Can we just unpack that statement? Because from a cultural identity, is that
It's
really
true. That's
true
where all
from a
culture-
cultural identity perspective?
I think so.
Is the hood the epicenter?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm
shouldn't be. But
I'm saying social economically, we look at like in America, and we look at how black people have progressed. Is it still? It might have been one point, but like, is the average median outside of what would put you in the hood?
The average median, Johnny? What, nigga?
Hey, what are you talking about right now?
I'm saying, like, we can look at the average household median income of black people or the median income, but like, is there something that like no matter which one we look at, because it's gonna give you two different answers. Is it outside of what poverty?
I think that culture that comes out of these spaces typically are the ones that run the world.
Mm-hmm.
The hood culture.
Yeah, see, unfortunately, there
like
is
style culture, like style, music, lingo. Like it's most of this comes out of places where
is black culture rooted in the hood? Then Q.
At best, lower middle class to lower
suburban
socioeconomic.
motherfuckers for trying to tap into the hood.
So yeah. So you are saying that black culture is rooted in the hood. Is that what you say? So then yeah. So then we can't get mad at
suburban
niggas not from the hood wanting to do hood shit. What the niggas? I want to do hood rat shit with my friends.
I do think that where Johnny and Quincy was a very interesting like spot because of, I guess there is an appeal if you are from quote unquote the hood, but you want to have or tap into some version of blackness. And like if you like a couple of us on here went to a HBCU, so you see this a lot, especially there. And this is even like exaggerated with the examples of what we was given, where a lot of times like these people they might have like the offers to go to UNC or the offer to go to state or wherever, but just to be able to immerse themselves for 4 years under blackness, and they'll go to graduate school at any of these spots as well though, but they will choose to be intentional about going there so that they can have some version of what they feel is the black experience.
Mm-hmm. I was saying earlier, real quick, I was saying earlier that there is a historical precedence of poverty in the hood being tied to like black, because it took a little while for us to even have a certain percentage of black folks who kind of quote unquote made it, right? And for the most part, up until I say like the 70s ish, most was trying to get it out the mud. Your doctors and your lawyers and those who did make it, I think, and like I said, this is prior to even hip hop taking over. I think the suburban black people, the ones who did make it, and I hate to say this, I think they were trying to emulate white people, and they never established another identity of blackness for us to emulate, right? Because once they make it, they're trying to pretend to be white people instead of just kind of saying, okay, look, we got money, but we still black. We just this version of black, right? And versus the people in the hood or the people was lower middle class, they was just black. They weren't trying to be nobody else except ourselves. So,
alternative.
Yeah, right. So I do think that is a one of the faults, because like I said, once hip hop came around, it just took over everything. It just sucked up everything.
Yeah,
in the room.
Is what it is. And then I think that there's also, like you said, like the genuineness of being like that specific thing without even having the ability to cosplay as like bourgeoisie or uppity or white or any of these things. A shout out to In This World, but not of it. talk to us, brother. I think that you're a first time calling. What is your thoughts?
I was trying to log in. I don't know if you can hear me.
We can hear you.
We just can't see his
Okay.
avatar.
Yeah, we can't
All
see
right.
you.
Okay, but as far as the hood, they shorten it for neighborhood. I mean, we're the only people, it seems, that when it's used as hood, it seems to be corrupted. Every other race, they said their neighborhood is no big deal. But I grew up in the hood. I came from Aruba. I came here in 1970. Okay, I lived in Brooklyn, grew up in Bedford-Stuyvesant. That's when you saw a man and woman in the house. Whether they were married or not, you respected them as Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so. You never called them by their first name. Okay? And during that time, there was no crack. There was no crack, and cocaine was considered a white man's drug. I never saw cocaine until I came out of the Air Force.
Facts.
Okay, and I did 20 years. Okay, and they thought I was green. I couldn't figure out why these dudes was in the bathroom sniffing so much. They was like, "What? You don't know?" They couldn't believe it because they looked at me and thought I would know. I didn't know. But the hood, as we call it, was the greatest place to grow up. Okay, there was so much that came out of the hood that was positive. That what they did is they just corrupted it. First of all, again, when I came up, sex education had just went into
Hey,
okay.
You breaking up in
Yeah,
this world.
he
cooking though.
You cooking, so get that signal right, my nigga. Get that signal right.
Get that Wi-Fi password.
It dropped them for whatever reason. But hey, fellas, I guess as we're at where we're at, we got 40 minutes left. Let's see if we can segue into probably what's going to be the most contentious part of the Black identity crisis conversation, in which I'm sure we'll have an after show that will be fun because of this. So when we speak about FBA, ADOS, Black, African American, Native Black, Indigenous Black, Indian Black, Israelites, the Moors, the Hoteps. Johnny, what did you call yourself? You was a white woman, lover black. You said something earlier. What did you say?
I said, I'm black. I'm the blackest motherfucker on the podcast.
Okay, there you go.
Including Camus.
Damn, Camus.
Camus, he said you light skinned.
You let this nigga out black you, cuz.
Yeah, you in the lane. But So with all of these different versions of identities that speak to the exact same grouping of people, is there an identity crisis within Black America? G, talk to us.
There's definitely a crisis. There's a crisis, and you see it bubbling up. I'm from being honest. I hate to do this, but the identity is delineation. That's the crisis, and it's bubbling up. It's bubbling up. It's starting to percolate. You got Congress people from Charlotte, of all places, talking that talk in the North Carolina office.
Get that smut off us.
Standing on ADOS business and
get that smut.
Hey, look. Hey, I do think that there are a lot of. I think that's the crisis that's really at play here. Is are you of that cloth of Black American slavery, or are you not? And I feel like that's the biggest crisis that's really bubbling in the Black community, if I'm being honest.
Hey, I think that's an issue. I don't think it's a crisis. I think it's something that's gonna like work itself out. Like I mean, like as far as like Black people getting what we want, we in a space where like we see kind of what's possible with like how all the MAGA shit went and how they went. But and like
get one clarifying point. Can I get one clarifying point, John? Let me get one clarifying point. It's a crisis because even within our community, there's a split on this conversation in terms of delineation, reparations, pro-immigration.
Yeah, I get it.
It's starting to really divide our own community to some extent. It's something I'm seeing.
Hey, but it don't have to be a crisis. It's like if we trying to get something, the people that are going to get it are on one side of the delineation, and the people that aren't are on the other side. And it's not a race thing. It's not a black thing. It's a lineage based thing. And it's like there's going to be like based on our lineage, based on here, there's going to be certain. And that's if it all goes to plan, and you know the FBA do all their thing, and they go to plan. There's gonna be certain ones of us that like are reaping the benefits based on what happened in the past, and there's gonna be ones that don't. And I don't think it's a crisis. It's just you got to draw the line, and if there are benefits that are to be given out that are possibly going to be given out, we have to draw the line as far as who's going to get it. And I don't think that's a crisis. I think that's a very I think that's a good thing.
Can I make a statement real quick, please?
Okay.
What's hurting to me is this right here. We are the only people who, well, in America, who actually put our agenda towards where we come from and things like that with poverty. Now, here in the United States, the poorest people are white people in West Virginia. Now, you get no poorer than that. Now, everyone had know how they live up in the Appalachians and things of that nature. But white people don't go towards their poorest and they're the most ratchet amongst them and say that this is our culture.
I agree.
But we want to go towards the most ratchet people and say that this is our culture. We are not a ratchet people, but we have ratchet people amongst us. So we should not gravitate towards the ratchetness and make that our culture. And that's what it seems like a lot of people think, just because a hood thing or this, that. No, it's poverty. Poverty doesn't make us. We may come from poverty, but we are not poverty. And that's what a lot of people seem to think, that just because you're poverty, that makes you better at being black. No, it doesn't. That just means you have no fucking money. That's all that means.
But black people are arguing that all day long, Black people will argue that point all day long with you.
That's a fair rebuttal to what we was talking about.
But that's the crisis too. If you want to go outside the reparations delineation talk, the crisis is the people who are not of that lineage. They only know us by what they have seen, what's been popularized. They don't really know the culture. So because they can blend in so well with us, people think they're seeing Black Americans who are of slavery, but they're really seeing people who are immigrants.
So you're saying
and when I say immigrant, I mean I include United States citizens. See, the people who are of the lineage, we're more than just citizens. We are actually the true and only Americans. So that's the confusion. So that's the crisis, is that you have people who are Black American. They are Black American. They might even be African American, but they're not of the lineage. So what's their part in the culture? So like if they portray us a certain way and people see that as our culture, we have to figure out a way how to delineate from that and solidify what our culture is and what it's always been.
Are we speaking out of turn, or we
just open conversation right now?
Round. Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. No, pretty much.
Can I? Before
no, I was waiting. I was waiting patiently. I want.
No. We kind of just talking. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just want to debunk that half-ass critique that he just said. So the whole problem is that.
Why you gotta belittle my comment?
Fair. So within this, to make sure that we keep away from being hyperbolic, let's address the points and not necessarily degrade whatever the statement is being said.
I'm talking about the points itself.
I get it. But if, like, again, if we're going to try and keep it from getting hyperbolic, let's just disprove points with facts. It's the best way to make it.
Calling the nigga shit half-ass. That's the point.
Yeah. Because it's only going to make every conversation start to kind of build.
You disagree. I don't agree.
Yeah. Let's stay to the merit of the conversation.
Back point.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'll start from already the reason why I do agree I don't think it's at critical mass, but it has the potential of critical mass as far as black people have an identity crisis. This goes for anybody in the diaspora, anyone in the diaspora. So that goes for Black Americans, it goes for Black people in South America and Brazil, and for the Caribbean. Because one thing that people of the ilk that like to call themselves FBA, which is a trademark and not a lineage, you can look that up yourself, is that we all have the same oppressor, just in a different land, right? So how they subjected the people from the Caribbean during slavery is the same people of the same company, because slavery was a business. They did the same thing. It was nothing different. It wasn't like where these people come from or anything like that. They fail to mention that. So when they say, well, these people are different and they're not like us and all this other bullshit, again, it's of the narrative of that. Well, there was no black immigrant in America until Marcus Garvey 1920, which this is not true. Many of people, and I said this many times on this platform, you had black people that went to Liberia, that probably comes back. You had Underground Railroad that went to Canada. You had the international transatlantic slave trade that was trading people from the Carolinas to Georgia to Jamaica, and in reverse, people coming from Jamaica going into the Carolinas. So there were always a small segment of black people here to say something ahistorical and ignorant as far as like these people don't know who we are. It's the same white supremacist talking point. Because remember, during the time of I did on my channel, we talk about on my channel, I did a show about it, about Abraham Lincoln and Emancipation Proclamation. We talk about Abraham Lincoln, he didn't want to free the slaves, but if he did, he says, what would we do with these people? They can't amalgamate into society. They're like children. And so who's going to take care of them? So the same white supremacist talking points that was used on black Americans as far as, okay, we free these people and stuff like that, they're children. That's why I used to live in Florida. They had some Hispanic people. I had to tell them certain tropes that black people have to go through. If a white man call you boy, that is to say you're not a man, because they think we had a childlike mentality. So we do have an identity crisis because that's what's something that white people have put on us. So to say that, well, this black person is different from this black because this black person is from the Caribbean or whatever, fine. How human nature goes, once you get rid of all the black Africans, all the Caribbeans, then we're going to have internal identity crisis. Then it's back to light skin versus dark skin, north, Yankees versus people from the south, the east versus west, because it's human nature. This thing is not going to finish until you cannibalize yourself. This is a very cancerous, cannibalistic ideology. And I pretty much land my plane there.
Can I chime in?
Steve, then Quincy.
Yo, I do think we have
oh, my bad. Ben Kamu, my bad.
I do think we have a identity crisis. I think I view it kind of differently than most people on the panel.
We not socialists, right?
Nah, I mean, you don't have to be that. I'm just saying, like, I think black people have always been trying to like prove our Americanness and our belonging to this country, and that's in direct conflict in how the country actually treat us, and so it creates this like conundrum that we in, right? And you know that's why I get why there's such an appeal to ADOS FBA to really have this claim to this Americanness, but white folks don't view you as American. Like if you go really listen to like white WASP Americans who like in that real right wing sphere, they don't view nobody but them as Americans, and I think that's like
that ain't no problem.
How do we reconcile that as, we consider ourselves Black Americans, as a part of our identity, and we live in a country in which, for the most part, they don't even recognize us as real Americans either. I think that kind of creates a identity crisis that, that we struggle with. And I think that's why you see stuff like ADOS, FBA, Freedmen, they pop up out of that type of contradiction that we going through. Of really trying to be,
but Steve,
it breeds coons. It breeds coons.
But Steve, the thing about being FBA and like when you talk about ADOS is like you can think we American or not. We was
like we didn't ask to be a part of the fabric of this country. We just are. And like it's no like debate about like what we did and the things that we did that make us American.
I don't think
whether they think I don't care what white person think I'm American or not. I don't know. I don't know no African language. I'm American as fuck. That was my first language growing up. It don't get more American than me. I ain't choose this life. I ain't asked to be here. My people, like we're just American. Well, fuck what they think.
I get that. But
how do you speak American, Johnny?
I get that.
English.
But if the end goal is some type of
white man language.
If the end
American English is different from the King's English.
The King's English, I know that shit very well. My mama was an English teacher. I know grammar and shit very well.
So does Africans, so does Caribbeans. They speak very good English as well.
But Steve,
no, but the thing is that American English is the English that everyone speaks, even though the King English is there.
We about to erupt into craziness.
But I'm not making a critique or levying a critique against this idea, but I am saying that we have to solve this identity issue politically, because the goals that everybody say that they want to meet, we say we don't care what they think, but it requires them accepting the premise of what we are claiming, that we are Americans, and because we are Americans, we are owed certain things. So that requires the grander society to actually accept, and I mean fully accept that premise.
What should we claim?
I mean, that's no, I'm not. I don't think what he's saying.
I think shout out to dialect. What you call it? Dialectical materialism.
We shouldn't be American.
That's the hell of a word. Say that again.
Dialectical materialism.
Write that shit down.
But no, like
SAT shit.
Like if you understand, well, I've been slowly trying to get some grip on it. But it's
whoa.
Yeah, damn, it is as a pause. Crazy. But what he explained was that, which would be like the contradiction between like what we're saying we want and the solution and outcome that we're looking for. Where like we're saying, like as they're saying in the chat, who cares what white people think? There's also the line of thinking that delineation is will work through legislation which is controlled by white people. Getting reparations would be passed by white people. Everything that you're asking for comes through the approval of white people. Like if we're talking about like actually getting it done, and so like that's the contradiction of saying who cares about white people if your claim is delineation of reparations.
Like, Tethers are powerful though. Tethers are powerful. So, hey.
It's not what white people think, because white people show like it's a country over there.
You can't get reparations without the approval of white
people. It's a country over there in the Middle East that like control our government, and they don't have the majority. They're a small minority, and they do that through political influence. And it's not because it ain't because they don't think of themselves or anything, that they control that shit.
Even talking about like, go ahead.
But we do like you do what everybody thinks, because we're not just.
I know what I'm saying.
We just not holding on to this.
You don't know what I'm saying?
No,
I ain't finna go that point, bro.
You don't even ask.
One of the key issues with all of this is this right here. We are a people that are here. And no one else, you know what I'm saying? The thing is that we don't have nowhere to go but here. Where can we go? Down south, up north, out west, or wherever, no matter what. We're hundreds of years set here. No one, even when you go back to Africa, you're not African, because you're hundreds of years removed from there. Just because your skin color does not mean that's who you are. Who's saying that's not true?
Me, brother.
Who?
The Caribbean.
Who is that?
Me, brother.
What I'm saying is that we're hundreds of years removed. We're hundreds of years removed from there. They might look at us as being this or that, whatever. Just because your skin color doesn't mean that that's exactly what
home, brother.
if you go back to excuse me.
Hey, keep finish your point, then we'll go to Kamu.
I'm going to snap him.
All right. All right. What I'm saying is this right here. We're not looked at when you go to Africa. We're even if you had a bloodline of there, they're not looking at you like you're African. They're looking at you as an American. You're just a black person. But and we're hundreds and hundreds of years removed from being African. We are people that is here in the United States, even okay, say we all come from Africa, but we don't know anything about their culture. We have our own culture. We're different. That's the thing, is we're different. We might have African blood in us, but that does not mean that we are African. I'm sorry, it's just the truth. We're different people.
You're right. I got European blood in me too, huh? I ain't
European.
That's what I'm saying. That doesn't mean you're European.
Yeah.
Gee, a white boy.
That's all I'm saying.
It seems like y'all mixing up between ethnicity and nationality. You don't understand.
Let's go.
Who's that talking in the background?
Let's go, Kamu.
Who said that? Who said
That's
that?
Kofi, man.
Let's go, Cope. Kamu, Quincy.
Hold on. Who said that, Q?
Said,
I don't know. Kofi talking shit.
I'm not mixing up anything. I'm talking facts. Everything I just said is a fact.
Hey, fellas, the only way we're gonna even get close, like we got a lot of people on the
Did the
panel.
non-American call me a white boy?
No, that was me.
No, that was Johnny. Come, we're all over the place right now.
Not even American.
All right, fellas, hold on. That was me. Let me double check really quickly. So, fellas, the only way we're gonna make it through these last 20 minutes is, and without it being like some version of like a understandable yelling match, is if we all just give each other a little bit of space to talk and kind of do it inside some level of a format. So right now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put a timer up, and Kamu, I'm gonna go to you. Then I'm gonna go to Quincy, and I'll try and introduce another topic. And like with each person, I'm gonna just put 2 minutes on the clock, just so that we can keep going down the line, because it sounds like everybody trying to get in, and everybody nipping at the bits to disrespect somebody. And they're like, let's get through this.
I didn't disrespect anybody. I disrespected no one.
We ain't talking about you. I'm talking about G right now. He was ready to disrespect somebody else with Johnny said.
Somebody disrespected G. That's all I'm saying. I'm ready to meet the disrespect. That's all.
Right.
You was gonna call me a pussy.
Yeah. All right, come on, talk to us, brother.
Yeah, you see, America. I mean, we talk about this all the time. America is a very complicated scenario or case. I wish for you guys to find a way to kind of delineate and not disassociate per se, but to distinguish yourselves from the rest of. I mean, it's not fair for someone to come from somewhere and then be in America for 5 years and then claim the same benefits that people who have been there for, you know what I mean? So I really wish that you could establish that. But is it possible? I don't think it is, because America in and of itself is very complicated. Look now, two leading presidential candidates were barely American. Donald Trump, his parents are immigrants, and Kamala Harris is the same thing. But how do you look at that and then bring it to the black community to say, look,
Obama's daddy was from Africa.
Well, to say, look, for black people, we're only going to distinguish ourselves and call ourselves FBA or whatever. It's hard. It's hard to do that because the context in which you exist doesn't really cater for such. You gotta work with your immigrants who come to America and claim American benefits like the rest of y'all, which is sad, bro. Because in South Africa, that is not allowed. You cannot be from Mozambique and come to claim
Because
reap
they
the
worked from
benefits,
home when it
you know,
came to Africa and colonization. They didn't move over there and like do what they did over here. They worked from home, colonize y'all niggas from the homeland. That's why it's different. Like
I'm
over
not sure
here,
if
it's the wild, wild west. Like,
Hey, 20 seconds, Kamu.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I understand it, but my point is, it's very hard. It's gonna be very hard for you guys. I wish you could do that, but I doubt you. I doubt it's possible just based on the context of America, and it's very unfair, man. For someone like myself, I could come to America by tomorrow, and I will have the same benefits as y'all, and it's like it's not fair.
It's not true though. It's not
Got
true.
you.
But
All right, Quincy, talk to us, brother.
All right, I got a
yeah,
couple
Q,
things.
can I go after Quincy?
I got somebody in the backstage. After that, it's open game.
All right.
Yeah. So, okay, where we at? First off, everything is trademarked. A Jewish person actually owned the trademark for Black American. A brother spoke about it years ago. He had to buy it about 7 years ago. He had to buy it. Second, ethnicity, nationality, race. Our ethnicity is all of those names: FBA, African American, Black American, Freedman, Negro. You run it down. Those are all pointing to the same exact ethnicity. Race is, of course, Black. Nationality is American. I don't think we're going through I don't think Black Americans in this moment is going through identity crisis. I actually think we're going through like an identity clarity. I think this is the first time you're hearing, like, think about it. When Barack won in 08, most people didn't say anything about Black people. Didn't even trip about the fact that his daddy was African, right? We kind of just assumed he was us, because he was Black, right? That wasn't the same case with Kamala. From 2019, from the time that she announced, everybody was saying, "Hey, she ain't us. Y'all keep trying to throw us in our face and say she a Black woman and she African American. She ain't us." You know what I mean? So, and this is a conversation that, like I said, the mainstream will try to suppress, but it ain't going nowhere. It keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Your boy had it. I mean, even to the point where Drake, the whole Drake and Kendrick, he peppered the whole damn beef, speaking about how Drake wasn't us. You know what I mean? So I think that we don't have an identity crisis. I think the diaspora is having a crisis in response to us, because the diaspora is being told for the first time, "Hey, look, we got to put some boundaries around our shit the same way y'all got boundaries around yours." We have been an open book, an open revolving door that the diaspora has been able to just speak on, jump in and out. Yeah. They've been able to move in and out of our circles without any impediment, and now we're kind of putting up the gates and trying to like get some checks and balances, and that's where the crisis is at.
I dig it. M. The God, talk to us, brother. Welcome to the show.
What's cracking? Appreciate y'all having me, man. This conversation kind of be blowing me, because I'm like, and let me start off like this. Salute to all the other Africans and Caribbeans. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? That let me start it off like this.
Like that.
All the good friends that we have that's African and Caribbean. Now, the only person that get mad when you put a lock on your door is somebody that planned on running in your shit. The only person that's mad that it's a lock on the safe is somebody that planned on stealing from that bitch. What I'm saying is, we should not have to have this conversation about our ethnicity, and people get upset that they're not a part of it. If you went to their great grandma and you had to be whoever your great grandma is, some people would still be Black Americans and some people would be some other shit. If you the other shit, stay the other shit. You know exactly where the fuck you from, right? They love to say that shit. So why would you leave your homeland and then change your name to just flat Black? It makes no sense. The shit makes no sense. It literally makes no sense. You know where you're from. No, race is the least specific context you can use, because if we're going by skin tone, why don't we call Polynesians Black? Why don't we call the darker skinned Asians Black? No, people look, and why don't they adopt our personality and start saying nigga? You know what culminated this for me? I seen a Nigerian dude tell a white boy he could say nigga. I say, huh? Say, yeah, I don't mind. We shouldn't care like that. I say, first of all, who the fuck is we? You don't care because this ain't got shit to do with you. You have zero historical attachment or emotional attachment to these issues. You come over here and think cosplaying as us is something that benefits you. You do it, and then you use that for proximity to whiteness. We don't want to be around white people. We separate and segregate ourselves. You appreciate yourself. If you look at the divestors and most of the women that be divesting and super proud about dating white men, I bet you they ain't FBA. I bet you it's a very small slither. If you go through the black manosphere, so-called black manosphere, I bet you a lot of them just got over here because that Pookie and Ray Ray is substitute for black American men. Just peep how they use it. Peep how they use that shit.
I will say I be doing the show with an FBA brother on Sundays, and he like to use Pookie, Ray Ray, and Tyrone.
Tyrone be the one.
Yeah, Tyrone be the one. But
and you need to give him a couple extra seconds.
Listen, if y'all want to give
a new voice, he a new voice.
No, listen,
let him cook.
If y'all want to give him like an extra minute or two, I'm cool with it. It's up to y'all.
I like it.
Go ahead, brother. Speak.
Yeah, and then we do not be concerned about nobody from no other place. We don't be mad at. Shout out to the South African homies like Uncle P. I be watching his show. He be standing on big business. I don't know if you ever seen him with his series on Joppa. You know what Joppa is? He's Uncle P from South Africa. I fuck with my South African homie, man. Uncle P be coming with the shits. But he be standing on big business showing, he like, man, Nigerians, you have to get it together. You dress up like 3 Arabic women and get caught. You only put makeup on your nose up.
You sound like Camus.
Camus fuck with that. I already know. Look
yeah, he do. He fuck with Uncle P, obviously. He don't like him. Camus don't like Nigerians either.
So the South Africans been standing on business. So I ain't got no issue because they've been delineating and they stay in their own country and build their own thing. So I don't got no, like I say, it ain't an anti-anybody else movement. It's an anti-you becoming me. These motherfuckers is performing identity fraud with the ethnicity. God damn, you got the highest fraternity race in the world. You got the highest fraudulent fraternity race in the world. You got the most credit card fraud in the world. And then you still in ethnicity. My nigga, when does it stop? Like, where does this shit stop at?
Putting all the immigration shit on Nigerians.
The majority of the bulk of the disrespectful motherfuckers, they become from Nigeria, bro. It's other people, but the majority of becoming from Nigeria. I swear they do. I've been watching this for a minute. The bulk of that shit. If you look at the UK, right? That then remove their title and just identify as black, they're starting problems with us. So we have to acknowledge them so they can pretend like we equal when it comes to cultural and global influence. Hey, what the fuck is this?
Camus about to clip.
I don't know if you saw it. I don't know if you saw
it. Oh no, I feel like in perfect fashion, I'm going to bring Kofi to the stage.
Can we hear from Camus before Kofi?
Yeah, because it's gonna get wild.
I think Camus gonna fuck with everything he just said. But
let Camus get his.
Let Camus go. They're easily triggered, so let Camus go.
Dog, I mean, I just think Nigerians are sick, dog. There's a leading Nigerian politician in the UK. They're sick as fuck, dog. Like that lady denounced her American citizenship just to stay afloat in UK politics. She said, "I don't identify as Nigerian no more." What kind of
I'm
sick
British.
shit is that, dog?
She said, "I'm British." Damn. With a whole Nigerian family.
She turned her back on her own people. Look
it up. Look it up real quick. It's crazy.
What's her name?
Hey, I will say shout out G chopped the clip last week, and it said he asked Camus. He said if that woman have a baby. No, what was it? If that South South African woman have a baby with that Nigerian. What you say, Camus? His ass is Nigerian. That nigga don't claim shit
either. He said, I'm gonna tell you what he said. He said it depends on what he said, the mother or the father. If the mother was from one spot, they would be considered this. If the father was from another spot, they would be considered that. That was
But
his.
if they
I remember.
Nigerian, it don't matter.
I can provide the
Nigerian, it
science
don't
for it.
matter.
And he said they.
Hold on.
It don't
I can
matter.
provide the
It's
science
Nigerian.
for it.
That's the Nigerian.
I saw something on IG. I don't think nobody fuck with the like they. It was some Ghanaian shitting on Nigerians and
Yeah, they
like.
putting them out too. They said fuck all this. Nigeria kicked it off with fuck Pan-Africanism. Then they got the Igbo king in Ghana talking about he gonna relegate land and create a land in Ghana for Igbo land in Ghana. They like, man, get your goof ass on. They running around kidnapping people, selling drugs to motherfuckers in different countries, taking the women back and deleting them in a new. Bro, that shit crazy.
And it's all in Nigeria.
I think this is
man.
All right, I'm gonna throw Kofi in this one. Kofi, talk to us, bro.
All right, get some sense in here. So again, I didn't hear much what the other brother said, but it's the whole same tired FBA tactic of throwing a rock and hiding your hand. So, and just to be xenophobic and racist, using the same tropes that white people use on Black Americans. That's all. That's why I would not call a Black American FBA, because that's disrespectful to Black Americans, right? FBA is a trademark. FBA is a grip. ADOS was founded by the Heritage Foundation, which has racist roots to it. They get rid of Black immigrants and Black people. So when we say we have an identity crisis, we're seeing this play out in our face.
You're not included
and the problem with the identity crisis. I didn't see anything when anybody talked. That's how I know.
Oh, we passed that time now.
These are cult-like, mind-like people, because I give you respect. I disagree with most of the things that you said, but at least I gave you the floor and I didn't interrupt you. That's why I'm saying you guys are easily triggered. That's why I let Kamu go. Anyway, so
Kamu's more of a weed than you are.
Let him go. Let him go.
Yo, let him rock. Let him rock. Let him rock.
Nah, it's okay. Again, like I said, FBA people that call themselves FBA, it also very low intellectual, very low information people. Now they wrap this up. This is my opinion. This is my opinion, right? And we're seeing it play out. So again, I would never say, because I'm pro-Black, I'm not xenophobic, I'm not a separatist. Anywhere where Black people are suffering, right? I want the best for them. Black Americans need reparations long over. They need a lot of things, but the problem and the grift with FBA and ADOS is that they masquerade their white supremacist xenophobic ideology with pro-Blackness and reparations. So if you talk about the group of the xenophobia and the things that they said, it's a problem. So like Kamu, you said something. Kamu, you said something like, I would like, I guess it's more of a question. I do agree that people shouldn't come here and automatically get benefits, especially if you came here legally and you did everything the right way and stuff like that. That's a little bit of conversation, but there's nothing that an immigrant gets fresh off the boat, fresh off the plane gets that a Black American fully get. That doesn't exist. And if it does, you will have to tell me on the books where that exists. That's just simply not true. That's basically
sanctuary.
I proved that wrong. Someone said that, and that was a personal fund.
What is called?
That's not true. That's not true.
Yeah, it never.
That's simply not true. The last person, maybe it was you, that came on here. You said, "Well, you get scholarships," and someone they posted it up, and it was a person that did an independent, thing for immigrants. It was immigrants say, "Hey, look, if you're an immigrant, you want a fund to go to college. That's fine." That was not sanctioned by the government. So I don't know if it was you, but someone lied and posted that, and I even researched it. So that's a lie, right? All I'm saying, this is identity.
Immigrants get access to foundational Black American traditional scholarships and immigrant scholarships. So I don't know what you're talking about. That's
not true.
Yes, it is.
And you will have to show me that, because if that's the case, it must be a program. I've been having this tired ass conversation for years. The only way that happens, because I know that there's people in my family that are doctors that have their masters. They don't go looking for an immigrant scholarship. They get it in the mud just like everybody else. I don't know anyone.
They get public school for free.
So what are we talking about? We're talking about Black immigrants that had citizenship or refugees or whatever.
School for free, for sure. Period.
Okay. So public school. What else?
Dude,
What you mean?
Cornell.
Everything, bro. What are you?
No, you can't say that's a lie. You have to show me. Saying everything. That's like me saying all people that say are FBA or a bunch of coons.
Yeah, I think that if we're speaking, just to kind of clarify, so that we're not like talking past each other, I think Kofi is asking what specifically. So cool. Like right now, what Kofi is asking is what specifically do Black immigrants get that is isolated only to Black Americans? We're like public school. So anybody that's
Black immigrants that are not citizens.
No.
So look, the Harvard Law, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, and it was one other one. They had a quota that needed to be met with Black Americans as repents for slavery. Right? They were scholarship opportunities and a diversity admittance quota. Right? So instead of them getting Black Americans, they imported Africans and cheated the system. They released a study that the head of admissions described, and it said, "Hey, we didn't realize, but it was intentional." If you look through the study, you can see they intentionally did.
That doesn't sound like a law. That doesn't sound like a law. That sounds like an HB1 visa. That doesn't sound like a law. I said what laws and what things that immigrate on the book. The law, that's not the law. The application of the law is actually the law. The way perception. So what's the name of that law, please? What's the name of that law?
Dude, no matter what we say, you go.
Because you're full of shit and you can't. I'm asking you to prove what you're saying, and you can't prove it.
Kofi, you don't.
Why is everyone?
No, I don't know anything. They're making claims, and I want to know what it is. And they're using anecdotal evidence. They're using people trying to, undercut people from under the table. I get that. That's just capitalism. He's talking about H-1B. I said, what law on the books that allows an immigrant that just got here with a green card to get everything that a Black American has? And y'all just being some of you being insulated.
The sanctuary city laws do afford that. And the immigrants got 89.6 in paid taxes to the government and took 150 billion in resources. We're in a deficit of over $3.
That's a lie.
We're in a deficit.
Immigrants give more. Attribute to than take. They pay taxes in various ways that they don't get back. They don't have a social security number, so they don't get social security, but they pay into the system. Immigrants put more into the system than they get. They're repeating right wing.
89.6 billion was paid into the system. 150 billion was taken from the system.
Contribute over $500 billion
in public services.
Yeah,
that's not true. They contribute more than they take out.
And an immigrant can come over here and can go to community college.
How are they taking out? They have to buy clothing. They have to buy cars. They have to get everything that's taxable, and they have to pay. There's not like, oh, here's my green card. Okay, sir, you don't pay taxes. That's bullshit.
Dude, at a certain point, people start talking to you about it, and people just gonna start making moves behind the scenes. Fuck all the talking. They just go because it's like talking to a brick wall.
Yes, because you're being challenged on your claim. Just say you don't know.
Listen.
Just say you don't know.
The one with the identity crisis. This is what we talking about.
Just say you don't know. You're saying a lot of FBA nonsense. And when I try, every time I ask you guys can't prove anything. So what the brother said, it's a true thing. I heard about that because they want to get other people in. I get that. That is a thing that does happen. But I asked what the law is. That's what happened.
And my response was the law isn't actually the law. The implementation of the law was the law. You can't legislate hearts and minds. So racism has been illegal in America since the 60s, right? But the implementation of the law is the thing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Again, but that is not the law on the books when someone, and I don't think that's what someone's referring to when they say someone said immigrant did everything, which is not true. You gave a very good specific example.
What we're talking about is not against the Nigerians or immigrants. It's about the white people who are using them against us. You don't even understand. We're not even.
So what you're gonna do? So big and bad as you are, instead of attacking the white people, you're gonna attack the Black person just trying to get a job. How courageous and brave of you.
Use the immigrants. Are you not listening to what we said?
So FBA and ADOS would attack the Black person that's here just trying to get an opportunity, other than the white man that controls the system.
No, it's both.
That's what you're telling me.
There's a person wielding the weapon, and then there's the weapon. Both have to go.
It is the fact, yeah. But you guys punch down.
It's both. No, it's both.
No. You punch. No, it is both. But when you attack the problem, you punch down.
Hey, Kofi,
That's what you do.
wherever you are, if
You
you
don't
you saying that
attack
y'all
the
y'all are
person.
less than
You
us?
attack the person
It don't
adjacent
matter.
to you that
So are
looks
you
like
saying
you.
that you saying that minorities that are not from America are less than us? Because that's what punching down is. If you punching down on someone, that means that someone's
But
below
punching
you,
down
beneath you.
is demonizing the people who's taking the opportunity and not
No,
the people that's placing them there.
No,
That's
if you
undermining
punch
you.
down,
Hey, let me
look
address that.
down. That's beneath you, right? If you're punching down, you're punching towards something that's beneath you.
All right.
That's what punching down is. So what you're
Correct.
stating is that. So what you're stating is this right here. So you're saying that y'all are beneath us. We're not saying that you are beneath us. What we're saying is you're not us, and that's all we're saying is that we have nowhere to go but here. And this is
That's your choice. That's not true. That's your choice.
No, it's not our choice. You can go back to
Wait.
Barbados,
So
or wherever the
what
hell your
chains and
family's
shackles
from.
do you
Where the
have
hell
that you
can we
can't
go?
leave where you
North
are?
Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama. Where the hell we gonna go to? Where we gonna go to?
You could go. Wait.
Don't have no
So
homeland. No.
So what's preventing
Where
you
we gonna
from
go to and they gonna
leaving the
accept us as
borders of
being
the
there?
United States? So what's preventing you from leaving the borders of the United States?
Because
It's not nothing is. No matter where we go, we're not from there. We're not them.
No.
We are
I'm not
hundreds of
addressing
years
that. You said you
here.
have nowhere to go. So I'm asking you
We
what's
don't have
preventing you from
anywhere to
going to
go
that place.
that's gonna accept us, except us. We are the only people who accept each other. And hell, we go to war with each other.
That's
Black
not true.
people
You
get
guys don't even.
niggas
Not
and all
all of
that.
you accept each
Yes,
other.
it
That's
is
not true.
true.
No, it's not true. Wait. So there's
where
no
you're from will not
tribalism.
accept me
There's
as
no
being one of them.
tribalism. There's no
Where
colorism
your parents is
in
from
Black
will
America. Is that
not
what you're telling
accept
me?
me. Will
There's no
your
colorism, no tribalism in Black America.
where
That's a
your
lie.
No
parents
matter
is
what
from
we
will
got
they
going
accept
on,
me
you
as
go to
being
the
one of
LA
them?
riots. We get on cold when it's time. You go to the LA riots, get Bloods and Crips tied their flag.
Hey, fellas, and like that, I think that this is probably a really good place to end the episode at. Maybe we, because honestly, we didn't really get into the crux of the main topic. I guess maybe we'll throw part 3 on this. This is kind of part 3 of the identity politics part. But oh man, yeah. Let me wrap and then y'all can cook in the after the not backstage, but y'all know what I'm talking about, the after show. But nonetheless, this has been a fun episode of Unpacked. Again, next week, I think maybe we might be due for a part 3. We'll dive in directly where we're at right here, and then we'll kind of wrap it up because I understand how hostile like these conversations get, and then we'll take a little break from it for a couple weeks. But with that said, this has been a fun episode of G the King. Is the Cash App, G-ish Pod. Again, we scream on dual platforms. Make sure that y'all like, comment, follow, subscribe, hit the Cash App to Be Fair Show and the G-ish Podcast. Johnny P, 1/3 of the To Be Fair Show.
Blackest nigga on the podcast.
Depending on the metrics.
Lightest nigga on a podcast.
Yeah. Listen, depending on metrics. Me and you both had polls with basketball goals, so like you might be moving brown skin like me, Johnny. Kamu, straight from South Africa. Our brother, appreciate you. Kofi, look like that is a Kanye meme that he has representing him. I don't know if that means.
Nah, my bad. I forgot to change that.
Was it like that can mean so many things, but I hope it's not about Jews. Quincy,
or midget. My bad.
Shout out to the brother and one of Cali's favorites, old man, a lot of gems, a lot of beans. Dago.
But that's it. Dago. I'm LA.
Oh, yeah. All right, Johnny. You messing us up.
Well, shout out to the I-5.
There you go. But with that said, this has been a fun episode of Unpacked. Till next time, 9:30 Wednesdays. We'll be doing part 3 next week. With that said, we out. Peace.
It doesn't